welcome everybody to episode 133 of Fat Guys on a Little Podcast. Back to you on a Wednesday.
We've been doing this way too long.
I know.
Every time I hear that number, I'm like, what the fuck? We did those 133 episodes of this dumb shit?
Little you know, when we hit 200, we're all going to die of a heart attack.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to go out like a cult. We're all going to drink
two
poison.
guys
For a taste test on episode 200. We're all
hit the
drinking
deck
the poison
2.5
Kool-Aid.
years in, just drop. Or 3 or whatever it is. I don't know.
As
Wow.
always, I'm your co-host, Steve, and joined by
Charles.
And via satellite BV. How you doing, Bill?
I'm all right, man. How are you?
He's not joining the pack, is what he's doing.
He's not drinking the Kool-Aid. He'll just have Gatorade in his
Whatever.
cup.
It comes like a real puss.
Yeah, I know. But we were out like champs.
Listen, taste test is the taste test. You got to suck it up.
Yeah. All right, hey, you hear that? Listen real close. You hear that?
What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't hear that?
I don't know what
You hear, listen real close. You hear Nathan Smoochie's Casca crying because Matt Stafford is being traded out of Detroit.
Is he burning all of his clothes?
He's on suicide watch right now. Him and
He's requesting it. So
yeah, doesn't
and
matter.
it sounds like McAfee. They're saying the Colts are.
So Nathan, if you listen to this episode, congratulations on that new name, Matt Stafford jersey you got for Christmas.
Wow.
I think that might be wishful. on McAfee's
Now you
part.
put it in the closet.
No, I just read a Yahoo article. They're saying it's a high possibility he goes to the Colts.
Yeah, they were talking on the radio today. The three front runners. There's three front.
What do you
runners.
got?
First up is.
Well, his house is for sale, so he's
Yeah,
definitely for sure.
By the way, I did look at that house. It's in
What do you got?
Bloomfield. Man, that is a fantastic house. That's like a house a rapper would
what'd you
have.
think?
on tour.
What'd you think?
I didn't even know that kind of house existed in
he
Michigan.
makes like
to be
how,
honest with you.
BB, look at
Where-
Matt Stafford's career.
Why isn't
earnings.
Bergeron selling Matt Stafford's house? Bergeron, you want
What
a
is it?
reference? There you
Want
go. Go
career
sell it.
earnings or
Yeah, career earnings for
Oh,
Stafford.
he's asking $6 million for this house.
Yeah, but why didn't
on-
Oberski and
it's
whatever
on
get the
Long Lake.
listing?
In Long Lake in Bloomfield, Michigan.
so far he has earned $203.8 million.
So against 200.
His average yearly salary currently is $27 million as a result of the 5-year, $135 million contract.
Steve thought he should live in a fixer-upper.
Well, I don't know. I just didn't know that kind of house. Because every time you see it on Cribs or something, it's in California
Holy
or
shit,
Florida. You never see a house like that in Michigan. So
What do
he
you
found
do
it.
for a living? Like, I'm pretty sure.
So, anyways,
He's going to go into year what? What year is he about to hit? Does anyone know, like,
He was drafted
career?
in 2009, right?
So, yeah, his 12th year?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
So the three front runners. Number one is San Francisco.
This would have been, wouldn't this have been his 12th year?
Oh, nonetheless, I get your BB.
Yeah.
We're breaking.
Holy-
We're
holy
splitting
shit.
hairs. No, calm down. Calm down.
Wow, okay.
Nonetheless.
I just pulled up the Redfin listing for this house. $6.5 million.
Oh, I robbed him of $500,000. Sorry.
Long Point Drive.
Who the fuck's gonna buy that?
It's on a lake.
In
Someone will
Michigan.
buy it.
dude.
Yeah.
It's 7,720 square feet, 5 beds, 7 baths.
Jesus.
I looked through the whole thing. I was like, "This is fucking this." He's got a full size basketball court indoors in there.
Wow.
It's got like the Piston logo.
But like
on
you
the
said,
thing.
I mean, if you made $200 million, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
mean, yeah,
crazy to
yeah.
say I got a $6 million house.
I'm just saying. I
like-
looked at that house. I was like,
Just
"My
his
God."
football salary. How much has he made in endorsements and other
Yeah,
business?
all them
I don't
Ford
see him in
commercials.
commercials
He's
a lot.
yeah,
Oh,
he's in
Ford, yeah, Ford,
commercials
yeah,
all
yeah.
the time.
You see what his net worth is.
So the three front runners.
We're vetting Matt Stafford.
Yeah, I know. San Francisco is one of the top ones right now. They say they're done with Garofalo, and the Lions are kind of interested because San Francisco has a high draft pick.
Okay.
So that's number
the value
one.
for money. Kind
Yeah.
Of thing. Yeah.
Number
yeah.
2 on the list is Denver, the Denver Broncos.
I haven't heard Denver. That's
Yeah,
the first
they were
I've heard
talking
of.
a lot about
What
them on
article
the
did you
radio.
read now? Because
No, this is on the Sports Talk on the way here.
Oh, okay. Because I just read a Yahoo article that was listing, and like they said, it said very favorable to the Colts is what I.
Yeah,
was
and then the
reading.
third is the Colts.
Okay.
The only problem with the Colts, according to everyone on the radio and stuff, they
They
have
don't
the
have much to
21st
offer.
pick.
Yeah.
So they're really, that's the only thing I might disagree with them. They think they're going to get, like, they're expecting a first rounder, a second or third rounder, and a player from any team that he goes to.
You don't. You think that's crazy?
A little high. I don't know.
But Matt Stafford weirdly has like a renaissance right now because he's durable. Everyone keeps saying, and then everyone basically says that his career, he's getting the Barry Sanders treatment. Like his career is what it is because he's in Detroit.
Yeah.
Like that's what everyone's giving him. There's people that are very hyped on him right now. BV, what do you got?
Well, first off, net worth currently estimated at $60 million.
What do you do with that other
No.
140?
Yeah, I know.
He's got a gambling
Well, I
problem.
mean, that's also,
you heard
I mean,
it here
net
first,
worth,
folks.
though, I mean, Yeah, I mean, they're well. Part of it's taxes. He didn't take home $200 million. He
You
probably
didn't
made
get
about
taxed
half.
140 million. What are you talking about?
So anyway, but
Bernie didn't win. What's going on?
He's a. I mean, I know we've disagreed on this in the past, but he's a top tier quarterback.
Yeah.
You put him if he spent his entire 12 years or whatever so far on a team that was perpetually 8-8 or 9-7 even, he's probably a top 7 quarterback in the league.
I think. Yeah, if he ends up in the right situation, especially Indianapolis or San Francisco, he'll probably make playoffs, maybe even make a Super Bowl run. I don't know if he wins it, but
So are we betting over under on 20 wins in the next 3 years?
yeah. Bill don't hate Matt Stafford much.
That
as he
reminds me,
hates
I have to write that down.
So there you go. The big news out of Detroit: Matt Stafford is going to be leaving, but we still got Motor City Dan Campbell, so we're good to go.
What is everyone's? I mean, do you think he was right to ask for this trade? What is Steve's opinion?
I think so. He knows they're going to rebuild. He's been there 12 years. He's like, listen, man,
You've run me through the ringer for a decade plus.
Let me go somewhere warm for a little bit. Let me be a contender. And I don't blame him.
The other move too, as I thought about it, as you just said something too, you might not pick San Fran because of taxes, like BV said. You know, now you're making money in California as opposed to Indiana. I'm just saying, or Colorado. Colorado's taxes are probably pretty low because they're getting all that weed money. So I'm just saying, like, California might make him think twice too.
But I don't know how much
they said was a driving force behind the Brady decision was the Floridian tax.
I don't know how much input he gets in the trade, though.
Oh, you don't think he gets to have
I think
some
he
input
probably
on
says,
that?
I want to go to a kind of a contender, and then the Lions could take it from there.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would think.
Does he have a no trade clause though? Because a lot of those
I don't know. I'd have to
quarterbacks
ask
do.
Nathan. I don't know his contract.
Stay tuned, folks. It could get very interesting.
Yeah, from what I understand though, too, the Lions were pretty much ready to be done with him anyway, because
Only in
he is a
Detroit.
big cap hit.
Like BB just said, like he's like a top tier quarterback. The Lions were done with him.
Yeah.
Well, no, but the thing is, they're a full rebuild. He's 27 mil a year. Who knows what his actual cap number
with
is?
the lineage of Dan Campbell, you want to make sure he gets his system's players. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to.
He'll rip off a kneecap. He got time for Matt Stafford.
You don't want to, shoestring this guy with some mediocre, non-tough guy that you got to deal with.
Hey, Stafford's not going to run Oklahoma drills.
Face to face with another grown man at 6 a.m.
I'd also heard that there was a possibility that the Patriots might actually make a run for him.
Yeah, I've heard that too. I also heard New Orleans.
That seems to be a lot of people have brought up the New Orleans one.
A lot of people think he
if
wants to go.
Steve is Matt
indoors.
Stafford, what does Steve want to do?
If I'm
What
Matt
is-
Stafford.
And you could pick your franchise-o
Franchise-o.
open, and you're able to go somewhere. Where does Steve want to go?
fully healthy San Francisco team.
You think so?
They're the closest. I think.
What about them That Colts team?
I think fully healthy San Francisco is better than the Colts.
You think so?
Yeah.
They just were so riddled with injury this year.
They
that-
got really screwed on the injuries and stuff.
Yeah.
They still got their. And I like Shanahan as a play caller. He made Matt Ryan go to the Super Bowl, and that may never happen again. And I think Matt Stafford is kind of like a Matt Ryan player. They're up a echelon, but they still needed some team around them. And I think San Francisco. I mean, Colts wouldn't be bad either.
But I don't like the Colts. I like the New Orleans one. Is what I would say would be my because
I don't know, but cap wise though, they said the New Orleans is way over,
and they're gonna have to make some moves.
they're gonna have
this
to cut a
year and stuff
shitload
like
of
that.
people.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
so
I like
their
New
cap
Orleans.
might not work.
What do you got, BV? Where do you think he should land? If you had your pick.
Well, if I kind of think that Colts might be the best option because San Fran has Seattle. They have an up and coming, Cardinals team in the division.
Cardinals are getting close to being overrated as the Chargers.
Oh,
Sure, but the
don't
thing
hit
is,
Kyler. He's
whereas
this tall.
But AFC,
Wee
but the
little
AFC
man.
South is. I think the AFC South is more winnable now.
How dare you, the Tennessee Titans.
And they've got more to work with.
And Urban Meyer's there. He's going to own him if he goes there.
Dude, he's got at least 6 wins to get every year. So I don't.
They've got more to work with offensively too. What are the? I understand the Niners have, when they're healthy, a defense, but what do they have as far as offensive options that
They
excite
got
you?
Kittle and a good running game.
Okay, so they have Kittle. Okay, whereas, but Do they have a good? I mean, I guess if they're running,
That's what they made the Super Bowl
they-
on was defense and a running game.
Yeah, but they're a long way from the team that made the Super Bowl a couple years ago too.
Well, that's why I said they're all injured. They all come back. They're all happy.
I get you.
I
It's
don't
gonna
know.
be tough.
It's gonna be either one of those, but then he'll probably end up in Denver.
Just what the fuck we know.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
So if they make a deal though, if he goes to someplace like San Francisco, does that mean that the Lions end up with Garoppolo, or does this become one of those 3-team trades?
I don't
3 or
know.
4
There's
team
rumor
trade.
that San Francisco wants rid of Garoppolo. I don't know what Jimmy G did. He bagged too many
I
porn
was gonna
stars.
say, he's
for his
getting
own
Pauno
thing.
chicks,
Yeah, I
dude.
know. They had enough of him.
Can't clean the locker room enough after
Well, if they
he
cut
leaves.
Jimmy G, he's somehow
But
going to
he's
end up
got a big
back in.
contract too, though. So if they cut him, they have to eat some of his cap number. If they can trade him,
He'll probably end up back in New England.
Huh?
There's always rumor that
valid point.
Belichick didn't want to let him go to begin with.
Oh, Steve with the inside baseball. Come
No, I
on,
don't- I
the
think-
fat guys on a
I
little
thought that was
podcast
pretty-
for the
pretty-
inside.
What do
didn't
we
wanna
know?
let it
They won't do anything
Listen
we
to
said.
Shefty sitting over
what
here.
I heard about that is before they made the trade, that Belichick was ready to because they're known for letting players go before they get to the end of the line, and that he was ready to sign off on letting Brady go and moving Garoppolo in as a starter before
Yep.
they traded Garoppolo, but Kraft nixed it.
Yep, goddamn.
Is what I
Hand
heard.
job craft screwed it all up.
Yeah, dude, he was getting them handy, son.
But then again, Patriots could suck for about 20 years. I'll be fine with that too. So.
And then it sounds like,
Yes.
back to our last week's episode, it sounds like the Texans are going to take Eric Bieniemy. He's loading up and all this kind of stuff. Did you see those reports this week too?
No,
That
I missed those.
yeah, it seems to be he's loading up a staff. He's Urban Meyering a staff a little bit and kind of getting his ducks in a row. So
Is that so they can keep Deshaun Watson? Is that
yeah,
what they're trying
that's
to
what
do?
I'm thinking. Yeah.
I
So
wish the Falcons would have signed him.
he's so annoyed. What are you talking about, dude? Get a huge pick from the Titans.
They got Bob Maxwell as coach.
went down. They
No
went down the
offense to
bowling
Bob, but they're
alley.
not bowling.
They're like, listen, man.
What the fuck?
Heard you got your kid a D1 scholarship. Get over here.
So, all right. So that's a little look at where Matty Stafford's going again. Nathan's at home crying himself to sleep.
Yeah, if you want to get cheap Stafford jerseys, go to D1.
All right. Now, okay, thanks a lot, COVID, and your vaccines that are moving very slow. Because of that, goddamn James Bond got postponed
Dude,
again.
I know, man. Every time I see these ads, that movie looks so goddamn good. Dude, just please.
They just keep teasing
But
it.
then again, like the movie that wins the weekend only made like $2 million, so I get why they're doing it. But man,
But that's not the only one. I know you don't care, but Morbius, that's moved till next year. There's a
what is Morbius?
it's a Marvel movie. Jared Leto plays him.
Oh yeah, I forgot I didn't care.
Yeah, I told you. I say you weren't going to care right before I said Black Widow's going to
Hey, I
get
don't care either.
postponed.
VV doesn't care. Just Steve's talking to himself right now.
Ghostbusters is postponed.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, so.
And
just
we
do
still
a
can't get no
Ghostbusters?
Quiet Place. I don't know what's going on with
But
that.
we are going to cover later in the podcast what you can watch this year
I was a
on
little,
HBO Max.
I got my dates screwed up. I was checking to see if that Denzel movie had released. It's this Friday.
Yeah,
coming
this
up.
Friday.
I was a week early. Like, come on, man. Where's that movie?
I've done it so many times. Where's that show?
Yeah, like, oh shit. Went and looked it up. I was like, that's next week. God damn it.
Now I got to go back and watch baking shows.
Yeah.
But
Nope. Glass blowing. We'll discuss it later.
so don't get ready to go to the theater anytime soon. Everything is postponed. Again, they're looking at October. So basically Thanksgiving time, I'm going to just be in the theater every week until Christmas. But we'll see how that works because then it might get postponed again. But Uncle Joe's getting us all vaccines, hundreds of millions of them.
My wife, the teacher, has
yeah?
signed up multiple times at multiple different pharmacies trying to pull some cheese and has not had any luck yet. So
Our
she's
father
trying.
has signed up at 5 different places.
Yeah, just
He's trying to
trying.
get to the vet. He's trying to get to the
Can't get it nowhere, huh?
And same thing with my in-laws. And they're of age, my in-laws, and they
Yeah.
nothing.
Nothing, huh?
So good luck, pal.
Yeah, it's getting rough, man.
Now, question. Okay, here's a very interesting question.
Uh-oh.
What
Let me ask you a
happened?
question.
What happened? Ask one more question, Mr. Steve. I got a question for you. One more for you guys. What happens first? Our father gets vaccinated, or we find a PS5 on a store shelf.
I'm going to be going out on a limb here. and say that PS5 is going to be on the shelf.
You say you're going to see a
I'm
PS5
telling you, man,
first.
I think those PS5s are coming. There's a boat on its way over here right now that's going to have a bunch of PS5s on it. Yeah, I think the PS5s are going to hit before that.
Bill, what do you think? Vaccinations first or PS5s and Xboxes on the shelves?
Well, I mean, I'm not really tuned into the pulse of Sony's PS5 distribution.
You're on the show
chamber.
every week now, BB. You'll know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, that doesn't. Yeah, but I don't pay attention to that stuff.
Oh, how dare you?
But it's all sold out.
I mean, I don't remember some of it. I don't know. I guess for the sake of argument, I'll say vaccination.
All right, I got $100, BB.
No, there's no $100.
God damn it.
Yeah, it will be funny that a Japanese company from Japan's going to get a product here before a company in Michigan gets us our vaccine.
Maybe it's going to be like that Michael Moore documentary. Maybe we all got to go down to Cuba to get the vaccination.
Well, it's funny you say that. So there was a guy in Canada. This was on the news today. Rich guy. He was the CEO of like 4 or 5 casinos.
Okay.
He's about 50 years old. Had a young hot model wife / Russian porn star. And so what they did, they were in like a big city. They flew out to like some small podunk city in Canada in a personal plane. And in Canada, they're giving these remote cities the vaccination first because they have no hospitals. So they're all end up dead if they get it.
Yeah.
So they flew out there, got fake IDs, and pretended to be a part of that. Of course, he got busted, lost his job, and now his hot wife's going to leave him. But they did get the vaccination.
Well, what's crazy to me in that scenario, right? So here's a
But they only
guy.
got part of it though, right?
Sorry, they got the first pop.
Well,
to
they got the
BB's
first
point.
pop. I don't know
Yeah.
if they got the. Yeah, they're probably not going to get
Well,
the second.
then again, they say that Johnson & Johnson one's looking promising, which will be a single pop. So we'll see.
Man, same pops.
But my point is, if he's filthy rich as you described, if he got COVID, he's gonna survive it. So I mean, it's so weird. It's like
Yeah.
I don't
Well, there's
understand like
rumor
the
that-
Charles Barkley thing, where it's like these NBA players pay all these taxes, should get it first, but they're young, healthy, multimillionaires.
They
Like,
will
what are
most
they
likely
worried
live through it,
about?
yeah.
Like I don't understand. Like I don't, and I could be wrong. But I don't remember reading the ESPN article about how all these NBA players are getting knocked on their ass because of COVID. I don't think I've seen that.
And there's rumor that a lot of celebrities have been trying to throw their weight around, like offering doctors and stuff off the books. I'll give you $10,000 if you give me a shot. And
So
stuff
Joe
like
Rogan and who else?
that. Yeah, Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle. Well, not Dave Chappelle. Has
Dave
it,
Chappelle's
something
got
about
it.
But
I think that
I guess
in-
there's been a lot of celebrities trying to get it ahead of
if
time,
you
too.
have top-notch health care, you only got to worry about it if you're like, someone who can't afford health care.
Like us.
Yeah, I mean, like an average American. If
Yeah.
you're a multimillionaire, like they're going to...
Yeah, you're gonna be like Trump status.
Yeah, they're going to give you like
37
weird
doctors.
experimental...
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
They're
understand.
gonna pump you full of radioactive Play-Doh. You'll be
Yeah,
good to go.
it's a weird thing. So I guess that multimillionaire, I guess.
Well, unfortunately, this week, the suspenders could not make it through his bout of COVID. Larry King, 87 years old, passed away. I'm
Why are
amazed
his
he was only
shoulders like
87. I thought for sure he was like 110. I don't know. He looked like a fucking real-life Kermit. I
He
don't
just
know.
looks like Mr. Burns to me.
Oh, yeah, he does look like
Man,
Mr. Burns.
Mr. Burns, man.
Then, of course, Hank Aaron also.
Throw the BB so you can get that picture of Mr. Burns up
Hank
there.
Aaron and Larry King passed away this week. 87 years old for Larry King, 86 for Hank Aaron. I know Larry King's was probably complications from the COVID he had the week prior, and I don't know exactly. I don't know. Bill, did you catch what Hank Aaron died of? I didn't catch that either.
I thought he had cancer, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, baseball legend Hank Aaron, who didn't have to take steroids to be good.
Oh, touche. Shots fired. Kurt Schilling didn't make it into the
Yeah,
hall. I saw that today.
A lot of those Royd guys didn't make it this year. That's what a lot of
There was
people
a,
are
there was a
talking about.
Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
vote
and
today.
Schilling didn't make the vote. Yeah.
Bonds didn't make it. None of them really did.
Bonds is never making the vote. No one got elected at all.
Can I just be honest? I just think just let him in. Who gives a shit? Do you guys have any opinion on that?
I don't care.
I don't care either. So,
WWE
BB, you
Hall
got
of
an
Fame's full
opinion?
of
You're
steroids.
more of a sports
Yeah,
purist.
I do. And it's not just that I agree with you, right? Because especially for those that they never actually were able to prove were on it, right? So the problem that I have with the Baseball Hall of Fame is that it's all voted on by the Baseball Writers Association of America. And so you have these baseball writers or this sort of like elite good old boys club that a lot of times they'll vote for people not to make the hall, or they won't vote for them based on the fact that they didn't like the way they treated them during their careers.
Oh, like an
and-
elitist thing or something like that.
yeah, like Barry Bonds didn't have a lot. I mean, he would have made the Hall of Fame, I think, if not for the steroid, stuff. But
They would have had no choice.
a lot of people, because he was generally considered to be a douchebag, that a lot of them might not have voted for him anyway, simply because, and they've got too much control and they don't have any hesitation yielding the control. I think they should put Hall of Fame in any sport should be voted on by the players or the veterans. So it should be like the peers, the people that played during those times, should have those votes. It shouldn't be baseball writers or sportscasters that make those decisions. That's my problem.
I would agree. I think it should be players, and Phillip Rivers is going to make it on that vote, is what Steve needs to do here.
Put him in the Hall of Fame, but you know what you can't put him? With a Super Bowl ring.
Oh.
Go fuck himself. He can't. Where do you play? NC State? You go to the NC State Hall of Fame.
The Wolfpack, baby. Ow!
So there you go, a little RIP to Larry King and Hank Aaron and Bill's take on the Hall of Fame.
I guess it's a valid point.
Before we move to the next section, I guess I should say happy birthday to Nathan Koska's father. I don't know his name.
Happy
Turned 43
Dad.
today. Smoochie's dad is
Smoochie's.
43. So
Daddy Smoochies.
happy birthday to Daddy Smoochies. That's kind of funny, actually. And so now we have a taste test that Charles went out and found and Bill had no time to get.
Yeah, I always like to do it last minute to be.
Yeah, BB loves it when we do this to him. This is something disgusting. Bill, don't be too jealous. I hate cotton candy. And what does Charles find? Cotton candy flavored popcorn.
Yeah, I saw this at the checkout at Kroger. I was like, we got to try this. So I popped us up, each our own bags. We live in COVID times. You can't be sharing a bag of popcorn.
I mean, seriously.
Wow.
So it's supposed to be cotton candy. It's basically like a popcorn bag. It's bright blue.
Man, it smells like cotton candy.
Smells kind of good.
I like cotton candy, but
Do you, BB?
You like cotton candy?
Look at BB. You know he loves cotton
I
candy.
mean, I don't dislike it. It's not like something I don't think I've eaten it more than 2 or 3
Yeah,
times
that's
since I was
gross.
an adult. But
I
this
taste
is
good as
interesting.
hell, dude. You're wrong. It's
I don't-
It's blue as hell, people. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Let me go to my-
by the way, your wife wrote Adam in the chat. Is that the name of?
Smoochie's
Daddy?
dad.
Oh, okay.
Daddy Smoochie's name is Adam.
I'll confirm.
Happy birthday to
Is
Adam.
that?
Okay, so what is Steve's opinion on the
0.0.
Dude, what is your problem?
I got took a fucking kernel gun.
It's super blue. It's impressively blue.
Now, I'm tainted. I only like regular buttery popcorn or occasionally some warm caramel corn. Like if it's
I
warm.
love caramel corn.
When it's warm. I don't like it cold crunchy. That's about it. I don't like Michelle loves
I go to the Detroit Popcorn Company.
that sweet-
Get that tutti fruity, man. It's like this.
what's
This is
that
delicious.
sweet popcorn
Kettle corn?
kettle corn. Man,
Yeah?
my wife loves it. And then Kim makes the kind of white chocolate on it. Don't like that either. So I'm already skewed. I knew I wasn't going to like it going in. Now that I've tasted it. I mean, if you
The
like
one thing I will say though, there's not a lot of covering. It's not super. I would want more coating, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
And Bill, if you're wondering, is no sugar. No sugar in
Super
these.
low sweetened.
Yeah, only 150 calories per serving, which is two boxes
2 boxes?
or two servings.
2 bags?
Two servings per bag. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
So
I
you're
think
looking
it's pretty good.
about 300 calories if you eat the whole bag, which Charles will probably do throughout this podcast.
Yeah.
Actually, it's 2 grams of fiber, which is kind of funny. But
Popcorn.
yeah, no, disgusting.
So going around the room, Steve, thumbs up, yes or no. Llama Party Act 2 microwave popcorn. What do you got?
Thumbs down.
You're rude.
2 out of 10.
First of all, that's an 8 out of 10.
I'll give it good points because it's a very colorful box.
You appreciate the graphics on it.
He enjoys the presentation.
Yeah, the presentation's okay.
I enjoyed it. I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10. It's better than Oreos for me. I'll just tell you that.
Are you out of your mind? I did Oreo
I would
all
eat,
day.
I would eat that before Oreos. I hate
Really?
Oreos. I hate Oreos.
There's something wrong
So
with you.
Lucky Charms of cookies.
Michelle will love this. I'll take a bag home to Michelle
Feel
and
free.
Holly.
Yeah.
They will love it. They'll eat this.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
So averaging out, that's a 10 out of 20 for the Llama Party popcorn.
Heavily skewed towards
Bill,
Steve's,
Bill, feel happy you didn't have to get this.
Dude, it's good for your diabetes. It's made with sucralose, man. What's your problem?
I don't care. It tastes like ass.
I'm actually kind of curious about it now.
Oh, see, BB's gonna pick some up.
Okay.
You're welcome,
man.
Act 2, in the advertisement we give you here on the podcast.
Because Act 2's struggling without us.
Yeah, get that microwave popcorn money. Now that I'm gonna make all the buttons gross and greasy over here.
No, what I want to try, and maybe next week we'll get this. I told you Atkins got a new.
I looked, I couldn't see it.
It was at Myers where I saw it. It was I should have bought it. They got cheesecake bars. They're cheesecake with cherry, sugar-free, low carb because it's
Bring
Atkins.
that shit in next week.
Yeah, I'll try to bring that in next week. We'll have that.
The Adkins
That'll
cheesecake
give Bill plenty of time to find it.
Write that down,
and
BB.
And it's good for me and
What is
Bill
it called?
because
You owe Charles
Atkins
$1,000
cheesecake.
for Urban Meyer, and you need to get Adkins.
cheesecake bars or
Cheesecake
something.
bars.
It's over in the pharmacy section next to the Atkins.
Yeah, I
shakes.
didn't see it. I looked at Kroger. They didn't have it because you'd made mention. So I was like, oh, let me slide by that. And then I looked over and I was like, oh, Llama Party popcorn. Problem solved.
All right, so Llama Party is not a party in your mouth.
And if I'm crunching for the rest of the show, you know what it is.
Gross. All right, so now we're going to get to some reviews. Now, if you remember last week or the week before, I can't remember, I got that AMC app for Michelle to watch her.
What's the name of the show she's really hyped on? Witch's Diary or whatever?
Yeah, Observing Witches or something. Michelle, type it in what it is.
We're going to wait for the field correspondent to tell us
Yeah,
the show.
Michelle, tell us what that damn show is. She'll be so pissed I don't remember.
Anyway, so this
It's something witches.
whatever.
Observing witches. Why? It's
I think it's
like
Diary of Witches.
That. Yeah, something.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Burn a Witch. I don't know. So on there, I started watching, because I didn't watch it when it was on regular AMC, The Walking Dead, The World Beyond.
So this is where is this? I know Fear the Walking Dead and the proper Walking Dead. What is
Yes.
this one? What's the premise? Where are we at on it?
All right, so this one takes place 10 years after the zombie apocalypse.
So we got a huge time jump.
Yeah, it's a time jump, and there are patches of society. Now, I don't know how much you've watched The Walking Dead, but there's a point where Rick Grimes, spoiler alert,
I bailed when Carl died.
he disappears when a helicopter comes down and get him, and there's a logo on it. Kind of looks like a half of an Olympic logo. That's kind of the society government that's running things right now.
So that was their weird loose ties to this new show.
Yeah.
coming from
So
the old show.
so they're headquartered in like 3 or 4 states.
How far of a jump from that point of Rick Grimes getting in the helicopter to when this one takes place is
That
it?
I don't know. You
Oh,
can't
they
tell.
haven't established that.
All you know is it's 10 years after the zombie apocalypse. I don't know. The Walking Dead proper, I don't know what the fucking timeline is at this point. I don't know if it's a year into the future, 5 years in the future, but this one tells you, so you know this one automatically. And Charles, have you ever thought, man, I wish The Walking Dead was about 4 teenagers doing a road trip during the zombie apocalypse?
What?
That's essentially what this show is. So these 14, two of them, 2 girls, sisters, their father is a smart scientist. So they're like on the West Coast somewhere. I want to say like Utah,
They didn't even
Oregon.
establish where they're at. Like
They
north.
did, but I forgot because who cares?
Oh, wow.
So they're on the West Coast somewhere, and the father gets taken to New York to help try to find solutions.
Taken by
that government that with the weird 3-circle logo.
Oh, okay.
So they're all part
like
of this
kidnapped,
government.
or he
No,
hears
he
to help?
volunteered and went.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm
And so the 2 daughters, they've built like a university where they're at. So all kids get to go to this university and learn and stuff like that.
We're
and they got
improving
big walls.
tomorrow's.
Yeah. So
okay.
it's basically you're living with zombies, but everyone kind of knows what to do. All the major cities are behind giant walls.
Okay.
And so they start getting fax messages from New York, cryptic ones like from their father, come save me, blah, 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 I'm in trouble, blah, blah. So, of course, the 2 girls are like, oh, we got to go. And then 2 other boys join them. And that's essentially it. They're walking, I forget, they said 1,100 miles. So wherever 1,100 miles is away from New York.
So are they
is where they're at.
establishing that finally the gas has stopped working?
Yeah,
and
no one
wanting
has. Well, there's some random cars here and there because the government still has them, that patchwork government.
Okay.
So they got some helicopters and they got some big military trucks, but no one has cars or anything else.
because
And
the
they have-
gas finally dies a decade later.
Yeah, and they have hidden fuel depots throughout the country, and they have cryptic maps and stuff like that.
So that's a plot line of this show.
Yeah, it's part of it. So essentially, that's it. It's those 4 kids going cross country, and then of course,
Are they going across the top of the map, like through the Dakotas and stuff? Like
no, they're going more to the south, so they end up on the crossing. The
Oh, why would you go
Mississippi
through
River.
the sparsely populated area to get to New York when you could go through where everyone lives?
Yeah, it's like right in the middle somewhere.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, here's the thing. So you're thinking, well, there's 4 of them. Someone's got to get eaten. No, none of them die. Spoiler alert, sorry. They make it all through fine.
Is that first full season on the
Yeah, I watched the whole
streaming
season. It was
service?
10
Okay.
episodes, about 45 minutes an episode. And it's one of those ones you put on while you're playing video games. So that's why I don't know all the details.
That's
like where
what
they're
Walking
from.
Dead is anymore.
Yeah.
I've never seen a show quite fall off as hard as The Walking Dead has. There was a time there, again, right before they started really lopping the main characters, that show was in the zeitgeist of all things in this country. And then it just died. I
Yeah,
mean, it was
it did.
unbelievable how big of a cliff that thing fell off of.
But even the main show had the balls to kill off some characters. This one didn't kill anybody off.
Yeah, did they though? See, I think you're rewriting history. So they would kill
Carl
off
eventually died.
16 episodes later after they started killing him, and they milked that plot to death.
Yeah, that's
So congratulations, they really did the hard work of killing off a main character, but they definitely got their money's worth out of that death. Is all I'm saying, and they do it all the time on that show.
So far as this show goes, I know football's ending and you're bored. You want something in the background.
Yeah.
But this isn't like, oh my God, I got to
So,
watch every episode. of
Rank
this.
the Walking Dead shows. If you were to rank the Walking Dead shows, watch the
Discovery of Witches. I knew my wife would know it.
Ah, that's what it was. I knew it was something Discovery.
So somebody was observing witches. I don't
We had
know.
witches in there somewhere.
So yeah.
So rank the Walking Dead shows. The original one up until they left the prison.
Yeah, the original one up to about
Yeah.
season 5.
Yeah.
That's number 1.
Which one's better, Fear or this one?
Ooh, that's a tough one because Fear is like retarded.
I think Fear started out solid. I thought it was neat the way they showed the like the outbreak happening. Like they sequestered them and the government and all. You're like, whoa. Like,
But even in Fear, some of those family members end up dying. Where in this, nobody ends up dying. So I'd say Fear is better than this. This one just, it's like the CW made a Walking Dead show.
oh god, you hit everything with CW.
That, well,
man. BB, doesn't your woman watch the Walking Dead shows?
I believe she still does. Yeah.
Aren't you in the same house with her?
he doesn't see
Well, she
her
doesn't.
really.
We don't watch them together.
That's just hilarious.
She watches that stuff when I'm not.
She
in the
lives a
room.
separate
I don't-
life from BB. He's like,
No, I don't.
I think I've heard that
sure
noise
she
in my
doesn't
house
watch
once or
them.
twice.
When she comes, when her boyfriend comes over, they watch it.
It's so weird.
Yeah, or like she'll watch them while I'm doing this, or
That's funny.
whatever.
So
Because I don't like them at all. And I saw a few of the early Fear of the Walking Dead, and I didn't think it was very good either. So
yeah, so this is probably a 5 out of 10. I mean, if football's over, you're bored, you want something in the background, I guess you could put it on, but
which means it's really a 2 or a 3 because you're still kind of half.
He's got a little WWE vibe to it.
You're still trying to stay positive on it a little bit.
Oh man, BB calling you out on your
I know.
review.
But it does have a PC checklist. Like if you made a show with a PC checklist, this show hits.
I think every
checklist.
show's got a PC checklist.
This really does. So, all right. Now next, I finally tried it, Charles. I installed it. It's big install, by the way. This CyberPunk 2077.
Well, because they had to rewrite a whole new game off the internet and bring it
Yeah.
out to you.
I played it on the PlayStation 4 Pro.
You got the copy from Christmas.
Yeah,
So you've
from
had it
Christmas.
now for a couple months.
Blew the dust off and put it in.
We talked about you kind of avoiding it to wait till it was not
Played
broken.
about now. This is a very early look at it, so I'll come back when I play more of it. But 6 hours roughly, somewhere in there. Man, you were nailed on the head before when you told me I was just going to be like, yeah, and that's kind of what happened. Yeah. The graphics are not good. I mean, there are at least 10 games I can tell you look better than that on that fucking system and that are open world. And just Spider-Man, the one I just played, the Spider-Man, the original, God of War.
The God of War game looks beautiful.
That
though.
the Samurai game.
Last of Us looked great too.
Last of Us. I mean, there's so many games that look better than this. It's like, the only thing that look good about this is when you looked off in the distance, like the neon and stuff.
That
So
draw.
it looked kind of like Blade Runner-ish.
Eon Flux kind of
Yeah,
vibe.
yeah. But the characters look bad. The facial hair looks like SmackDown facial hair.
No, dude,
or
doesn't
hair when
work, yeah.
you know Triple H always had that hair that barely.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. The story it's okay, but you can't really make out if you're supposed to be a good guy or a bad guy. I don't know. And then it's all like everyone's got cybernetics and stuff in them, and I gotta get a little more into the story. But the number one crime I had was the shooting kind of sucked. Coming from Call of Duty Modern Warfare,
Super tight, yeah.
yeah, and then even the '80s one, which I can't think of the name of right now for some reason. And then playing this, the shooting sucks in this game. And I know they didn't focus on it because it's supposed to be an RPG and all this other stuff. But, yeah, unless you get some upgrades to help the shooting. I thought the shooting sucked. So the gameplay kind of sucked.
So your issue is not necessarily the broken game itself.
I haven't run into a glitch, actually.
Yeah, it's been rock solid for you. It's
so
just
far,
not a good game is what you would argue.
And you get a partner guy, and there's a lot of cutscenes, a lot of talking, a lot of... and it just... doesn't grab you like when you played God of War, the Valhalla one, where he's
the newest one.
No, he's got a son. He's fucking yelling at the kid. He's killing a giant thing. He's fighting Loki right away. This is just kind of plodding around and mediocre graphics and. I don't know. Maybe it opens up a lot. I haven't met Keanu Reeves yet, so maybe when I get to him,
you're gonna have an aha moment. At
maybe
that point.
I don't know. So that early on, right now, that game's like a 4, and it has nothing to do with bugs. It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just the most overblown Chargers of the video game world. I mean, it's like
Phillip Rivers 2077.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers 2077. So
you
I'll
walk
come
around
back.
eating Oreos and Lucky Charms. I totally agree with you.
I'm gonna wait I'm gonna get a couple more weeks into it and give you a final review. But right now it's a 4. Maybe something's drastic gonna change. Highly doubt it. That's gonna make me change my mind. But yeah, the graphics just. I was like, when you're making your dude and like there's lag. So like you're switching between beards and facial hair, and it's like
wait for the pop into the texture to come in.
It pops in. I was like, ugh. After a while, I just took whatever the first one is. I
Triangle to random.
Yeah. So
that's a little rough, dude.
It's not, and a ton of collecting stuff like on the ground. Oh, you collected an ashtray. And
I know I'm
I'm gonna have to turn all that in for money, and then just to upgrade my pistol to 8 shots instead of 7. I'm like, great, glad I did that. 7 hours of killing stuff for that. So there you go. A little early look. Not impressed. Now, full disclosure, I did talk to our nephew this week. He got him an Xbox Series S.
Series S?
S, the digital.
The one without the drive.
Yes.
The new hardware that doesn't do 4K, only does 1080p. Doesn't have a disk drive in it.
It does not. And he had to get an extra hard drive. But he said he likes it. And he's played CyberPunk as well. And he's got kind of the same take I do. Nothing's blown him away yet. He's just kind of he's lukewarm on it. But he does say when he plays online, not CyberPunk, but like Borderlands and other things.
Did he intend to get this version of the Xbox?
No, he wanted the X.
Okay,
but the only thing available was
that's
the
a
X.
conversation.
And he's young, so there's no way he's going to be patient and wait.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but no, he didn't want the S. He wanted the X.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm like, that digital only one's a little butt. I'm like, what are we doing?
He plays with his buddies online, and his stuff loads 10 times fast. Like, he'll be waiting 15 seconds for his buddies. It's kind of funny. So he's got this fast system that loads really quick.
No one else has
No one else has it, so he still got to wait for his buddies. All the time you save, you're still waiting for your
He's
buddies
just
to
hanging out.
Yeah, he's like, well, they're coming any minute now. So I guess these systems do load fast.
That's good.
Now, John, our cousin, does have that one X. So I've had Series X. So maybe eventually I'll get over there and see that one. But they were all riddled with COVID over there, so I'm going to stay away from that for now. Wow. All right, Charles, what did you watch on Netflix?
Well, let me tell you something, Steve. It's been at least 2 weeks since I talked about a competition show here on the BB's favorite. I know, BB, tune in.
Has it really been 2 weeks?
I love this show. It's called Blown Away, and it is the most obscure, much like my pottery show that I enjoy. This one's about glass blowing, and it is the weirdest, most obscure thing because you just look at this, and these people are so passionate about the artistry of blowing glass, and it's like, wait, what? Like, who is into blowing glass? I'm not going to buy a kiln. This is the second season of this show. I'm not going to do this because, much like Forge and Fire, just looks too dangerous for me. I'm not into that. I'm like, this is way too
Whatever
sketchy.
happened to the leather making? Are you just done
I got
with
that stuff downstairs still. We comes and goes, Steve. Comes and goes.
1 or 2 inches of dust on it.
Yeah, well, listen.
What about all that meat smoking you were doing?
This is part of the journey of life,
What
Steve.
about that pole smoking you were doing last
Yeah, I
week?
do pole smoking still on a regular basis. I'll have you know.
With or without that hat on.
Yeah, I love it. I love my hat too. So my point is, this is a Netflix competition show. It's 9 episodes long. This is season 2. Watch the first season if you haven't watched it. Watch the second season because it's great. It's about glass blowing. I can't get enough of it. I watched the whole season already. Myself, and Heather already did. We did that because, and I put this as a note, I finally canceled Netflix. I am done.
What?
I am not paying $17.99 a month.
Are you
for
sure that show blew just glass and not more than glass?
It blew his wad because
Yeah.
he canceled the Netflix
Telling
right
you,
afterwards.
I'm done. I'm not into all the movies that they're about to release and all this kind of stuff.
Oh, man.
I'll see you in
They
6
did
months.
announce they're going to do Vikings Valhalla. Any interest in there?
No,
That
not
don't
at
tickle
all.
your taint?
No.
Oh, okay.
Then watch Vikings, the regular one. I don't,
Oh, okay, I don't know. I was trying to think of something.
I'm out.
No,
Yeah.
did you watch the George Clooney movie on there before you left?
No, I heard it was terrible. I'm not gonna watch it. All those movies are just, I'm not into them. It's much like you described.
Yeah,
I come
shit.
to
Most of
Netflix
them are
for the
shit.
TV shows. I really do. I like the competition shows and all that kind of stuff, as I discuss every week on this show. I like a good competition show, and this one ticked all the boxes.
Michelle
But
and Holly were just watching a baking show on there. I think it was on Netflix. They had to bake humans.
oh no, that's on Discovery Plus. That's
Oh,
that
okay.
where
They
they had
were
to make lifelike human cakes.
Yeah,
of
and they made the Brady Bunch.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they were like terrible.
It's like cake-alikes or something like that.
Yeah.
I've seen
no,
that on there.
okay. The one on Netflix, you had to take leftovers. Have you
Yeah, I've
that?
seen that one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Of course you have. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with
It's
you.
like Nailed It, but they give them a bunch of. I didn't want to talk about it because I only watched an episode or two, and that's like you
Holly
just.
liked that one. She watched almost all of
It's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You just throw it on while you're doing. I was sorting Legos the past 48 hours. I was like, oh, let me,
See,
you know.
I just threw Walking Dead. I just threw on the fucking leftover show.
So, anyway, Netflix is out of my life. So, if you're coming to this show for Netflix reviews, get ready for a bunch of Steve Sixes because I'm out. I'm done with Netflix. We
There's
got to
nothing
listen to
coming
Steve
out on
for it.
Netflix. I've been watching.
200 million subscribers. You described it, or you hit me up this week
Yeah,
with it
it
and all
does,
this kind of stuff. Crazy numbers. It's death by 1,000 cuts, and my inner cheekbone comes out. And
I mean, Witcher season 2. I'm waiting on.
I didn't like the first season of that.
Yeah,
so.
I'm waiting on new Stranger Things, and then
So I'll see you in 6 months.
and I might watch the Valhalla thing. I don't know, but that's just announced, so they're just not making it. So it'll be 2 years before you see that. There ain't much. There ain't much on there.
But there's a bunch of movies. I guess.
Yeah, but they're all terrible.
Yeah, there's like a Rock movie coming to it and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, him, Gal Gadot, and Ryan
Yeah,
Reynolds.
I
I'll watch
guess.
that.
Yeah.
It'll probably be terrible.
Yeah, and I'll wait for your Steve Six. You hit it with 1 week or 6.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
we'll move
it's
on.
a 6.
Yeah, I don't know. I finally took the plunge. I was waiting on a second season of this show. I'm entertained by. I know you and BB roll your eyes at me in these competition shows. I'm entertained by
Did
them.
anyone make a glass dragon?
No.
Oh, I thought it'd be kind of cool. See.
Anyone make a glass scrotum? I mean,
Just me. All right.
Michelle says it's called leftovers. on
Leftovers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay. So
Charles
anyway.
doesn't approve.
Yeah, I mean, you throw it on.
Netflix. It must be bad if Charles can
No,
actually
it's.
get enough of
I
it.
can't come
'Cause
on this
you can't
show.
get enough of any of them.
Well, first of all,
Leftovers makes you limp.
no, not
I'm
left.
just saying you're not. You're,
I don't
it
need
just
a
doesn't
TV
excite
show
you
to
in the
make
pants.
me limp, Steve. Let me tell you. No, it's one of those shows that Nailed It's funny because people are trying hard and the hosts are really funny and witty and all that kind of stuff. This one is kind of in that same ilk, but they're kind of good at what they do, so it doesn't really. It's just it is what it is. I don't. It's okay. It's not bad. I'm not here to tell you it's bad. It's a Steve Six all day, and that's what I'm here to tell you.
So, Charles, we went through our whole retro review phase, and
Yeah.
it burned most of us.
Yeah, it was rough.
It was rough.
Let me get some more popcorn.
So the other day at work, I was talking to Randy, and Randy is the king of 80s movies because he owned a video store then. And the one he kept claiming that holds up even today, mostly, is Romancing the Stone. Now, Bill, did you ever see this one?
No, but
You never
great
seen?
soundtrack. You know, Electric Avenue, Eddie Grant.
Now, funny you say that because the soundtrack is terrible during the movie, But that song is on the soundtrack, but it's never played during the movie. It's a terrible. So
you went back and watched it?
Me and Michelle watched it. Michelle and I watched it yesterday.
This is Steve Retro.
It's on Amazon. You can watch it for free if you have Amazon Prime. Also, Jewel and the Nile is on there too.
I was gonna say, isn't there like a two-part movie?
So this is Michael Douglas, Kathleen Turner, and Danny DeVito. 1984 is when this movie came out.
I was 5.
I was 9. So it was a little while ago.
Yeah, I do remember it though.
Yeah, it was on cable a lot when we were growing up. Mm-hmm. I'm a sucker for adventure movies where they're going to get a treasure and stuff. Indiana Jones. We got The Mummy. Even that movie Sahara with Matthew McConaughey. I don't know if you remember that one.
I know of it.
Yeah, National Treasure with Nick Cage. I like all those movies, and this is kind of in that vein. A little more romantic comedy more than it is actually adventure, but not bad. I will say it does hold up, but like Bill said, the soundtrack, the music is terrible. It's like 80s saxophone.
What's wrong with that, dude?
It doesn't fit the action adventure of the movie.
You want swashbuckling Indiana Jones?
Yeah, or something.
I want straight up Tina Turner.
Yeah, it sounds like an episode of Family Ties is about to start. I'm like, what is going on? So the music is terrible.
Of guitar.
Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas just a fun. Danny DeVito, of course, is hilarious in it. He always plays the little scumbag and everything, and he was the scumbag in this one. So there's a scene though, and I'm not spoiling anything. This movie's like 40 years old. It's like it's a little old, but so Kathleen Turner and him are trapped. The people are coming down the hill shooting at them. There's like a rickety bridge. Kathleen Turner starts crossing the bridge, ends up swinging over onto the other side. Michael Douglas' character grabs a rope. He's going to swing. He swings over, and he hits the wall. It's supposed to be stone.
It's a rubber wall.
It is. He pushes into it, and then his hand is going into it. I'm like, I think that's not real. So I thought that was pretty funny. And then there's other scenes where they're doing like a car chase through the woods and stuff like that. And literally you could see the stunt doubles. It was not them. It's like, wow. So, I mean, okay, it's 80s and stuff like that. But Randy was kind of right. It held up somewhat pretty decently. I mean, it's not like I watched
the Indiana Jones movies will hold up now. You watch Indiana Jones tonight.
I mean, Indiana Jones, Star Wars, they all hold up. But most of our retro reviews from the 80s and 70s when we went through it was pretty bad, remember?
Well, I got to tell you,
this is a step above most of those movies.
I didn't want to review it because I'm not all the way through it and everything like that. So I got those 4K Lord of the Rings movies, and I got through the Fellowship. In fact, 2 nights ago. Yeah, it sounds right. Whatever. Anyway, I got through. There's some parts that movie did not translate well. Some of those CG effects and stuff like that in 4K HD. Ooh, mama. Like, there's a handful, like, Saruman stuff where he's in front of the Uruk-hai and all that kind of stuff. It is bad green screen. Yeah, there's some... And I don't have a crazy, huge HD TV. I've got a 4K TV, but it's only like a 55-inch or something like that. Man, there's some moments where you're like, it's showing its age a little bit. BB, can you look up when Fellowship came out, the Peter Jackson Fellowship of the Ring?
I want to say 2000.
Yeah, it's looking a little long in the tooth.
Might have been like December of 99, but most people call it 2000.
Yeah, so it's a 20-year-old movie at this point, and they went back and digitally rendered or digitally copied for this Blu-ray release or this 4K Blu-ray release that they did. Ooh, mama, Steve! Did you watch the digital copies I gave you?
I haven't watched them yet. No.
Give it a shot. Give it a shot. There's some moments where you're like, ooh, man, it's not aging well and stuff like that. I wonder if that's going to go away less and less as they got more budget, as like Two Towers and Return of the King and stuff like that. But man, that Fellowship, there's moments of that boy that looked a little rough.
But as far as Romancing the Stone, huh?
Sorry, no, I was answering the question. So IMDb says that the movie Fellowship of the Ring was released December 19th, 2001.
Oh, so it's a 20-year-old movie, and it's looking like it. What do you got on Romancing the Stones?
I give it a 7. It was enjoyable. Okay. And even Michelle was
Can you make the Randy argument that it holds up? Is that...
yeah, like I said, except for the music and some cheesy parts. But it's entertaining. It's fun. I heard the second one's a lot worse. I forgot most of the second one, so it must be bad. A lot of this came back to me as I was watching it. But like if you told me before I watched the movie to lay it out, I'd be like action adventure, Michael Douglas. I don't know. And Danny DeVito makes cracks. So you could tell it was pretty decent because Michelle thought she was going to play on her laptop most of the time and ignore it.
She sucked in on it?
Yeah, she got sucked in and was watching a lot of it too. So there we go. Now, I have a couple previews, and these are on our Facebook page for my Steve's Animation Corner. I think I've talked about Invincible already. Invincible is he's like he's like Superman's son.
I know what this
essentially.
is. Wait, no. This is with Mark Wahlberg.
No, this is not the one where he plays for the Eagles.
Yeah, wait, I know this one.
Yeah,
Vince Papale.
What is going on? I know that.
it's based on a comic book written by Robert Kirkman, who is the maker of Walking Dead. It was pretty popular. It had, I think, a 200 episode run. A 200 issue run. Basically, he's like the son of Superman. It's Superman mixed with Spider-Man. Because he's 18, 19 years old in the movie. So he's got that young Spider-Man vibe, but he has Superman powers.
I know old boy from The Walking Dead's supposed to voice it, right? Glenn?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And his
Glenn.
father is the guy off the State Farm, or not State Farm, but the...
Farmers Insurance?
Yeah.
What's his
Simmons.
name? Yeah,
J.K.
Simmons.
Yeah, he plays his father. So it looks pretty good. The trailer's on our Facebook page. If you want to check it out, if you want to do that, go ahead. And then also Disney's new one. This is not Pixar. This is going to be released, I want to say, in March. This is Raya and the Last Dragon.
I saw the preview of it. It looked very Mulan-y. I didn't
Yeah.
see much of a departure from the
a little
Mulan
more fantasy-based than Mulan
Yeah, I
was.
guess, but like she's going through a temple in the trailer is what I remember.
Yeah, and they're looking for a dragon. The dragon's played by Aquafina. This is going to be, and exactly as funny you say Mulan, they're going to do the same thing. You can pay $20 extra or $30 extra to get it early, or just wait 5 months and get it on
5
Disney.
months?
Yeah. So, but it does look good. I saw the trailer. It looks entertaining. It looks a little more violent than Mulan. That Disney's still trying to suck up to the China audience.
I hit you up midweek about that Kong trailer and all that kind of stuff. Godzilla vs. Kong coming to HBO Max February 6th or something like that? March. I'm sorry, I misspoke. But yeah, what is Steve's impression of that and all that? What's the Steve take on Captain Godzilla and bad monster?
Okay, so Steve has a softness for adventure, find the treasure movies. Of course, anything with an army. And of course, giant robots / monsters / monkeys. I'm in. So it looks fucking awesome to me. It looks like they're painting Kong as the good guy. Godzilla in the trailer.
They don't understand why he's there. Yeah, they kept saying,
Yeah,
like,
so I think something's manipulating Godzilla to do that. So I think eventually the human actors are going to figure it out. And then the two Kong and Godzilla will probably destroy what's controlling them
for the uninitiated, meaning me and BV here. What are the
Bill
previous?
knows a lot of Kong.
Yeah, he sure does. What? So there's Kong Skull Island. What are the movies to watch to lead up to this release?
I'd watched the first Godzilla that came out in 2016.
What's the Puff Daddy one, and is that in the lineage of this?
Don't go anywhere near that one.
What is the
if you see a
problem?
DVD of that
Come
one,
with me.
if you see a DVD of that one with
like
Matthew
Jimmy
Broderick in
Page
it,
and all
snap
that,
it in half and throw it in the trash.
That's the right one, right?
And melt it. That is
Come
terrible.
on, dude.
That is the worst Godzilla ever. That 98 was when that came out. Matthew Broderick.
Okay, so watch that one first.
Don't ever watch that one.
First of all, you sound
The only highlight of that was the Japanese guy going, Godzilla.
with the light.
Yeah, that's the only
that
highlight
mean?
of that
What do you got?
movie.
Godzilla, time back on Godzilla.
So watch that one. Then what
Do
is
not
the
watch
of the
that
new ones? Isn't Bryan Cranston in
Yeah,
this?
that's the first one. That's the 2016 Godzilla. That one they did where a lot of people complained about it because they didn't show a lot of Godzilla. He was kind of a mystery in the background, destroying things. I liked it, Michelle.
Well, how does this?
Holly
Wait,
and I
isn't
liked it.
Cloverfield with John Goodman attached to this?
No, stop it! Stop it!
Okay.
How dare you?
Hold on.
You're out of your element, Kong.
So we're gonna watch.
Well, ironically, John Goodman is in Kong Skull Island.
Oh, okay. I love John Goodman still, but okay. So I want to make sure I get this because I
Connor
kind of
sucks though.
Kong Island wasn't bad.
No, the Connors.
I don't know. You're a little harsh on that.
Well, yeah, but Roseanne sucked in the first place.
Oh
so
man,
what'd you
shots
expect?
fired on the show. Episode 133. Write that down, BB. Shots fired. Okay, so I understand. We got to watch. There's a release of 2016, which is
Yes.
the Bryan Cranston one.
Yes. It's just
Is there
called Godzilla.
another one that came
Yes.
out?
3 years later, I think 2019 was Godzilla King of Monsters.
Okay.
That wouldn't have been bad except for Millie Bobby Brown's in it and no one stepped on her. So
That's the
unfortunately,
chick from
Stranger Things. I was hoping she would die. It didn't happen.
You were
And
just
she's
rooting
back
for
for this one too.
Okay, so that's the two Godzillas leading up.
Yeah, and then the other one is Kong Skull Island, Samuel Jackson,
which
John
is a
Goodman,
good movie. I recommend that.
Brie Larson, Timothy Hiddleston from Tom Hiddleston from Loki fame and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's a really good movie.
That's a
actually.
good
and
movie.
John C. Reilly's in it. He's really good in it too.
I enjoy that movie.
Yeah,
I
so-
remember watching that going, this is and visually amazing.
Yeah. So those 3 movies, watch those.
There's not. I thought there was 2 Kongs. There's only one
no,
Kong.
no.
One.
The other Kong, the recent Kong, was made by Peter Jackson.
Oh, that's the one you
Back
got to
like
watch too. So you got to watch the Puff Daddy
2007, I think it
Godzilla. No.
No, the Peter Jackson one has Jack Black in
You're
it.
ridiculous, man. You're so negative on the true.
I mean, the Peter Jackson one's not bad, but it's just literally a remake of the '40s version. There's nothing new about the Peter Jackson one. Where Kong Sky Island was a whole.
It's a good movie.
Whole
It's a
new
good
thing.
movie,
So
yeah.
there's only 3 you really need to see before seeing this one.
Okay.
So
And then this is coming to HBO Max.
yes,
correct?
and we're gonna cover that a little later.
Yeah,
a whole
that's
section
part of that. Okay, so we'll
there we
save our want to sees for that.
But before we get to that, we're gonna talk about the NFL because we got a little NFL left. So
Barely. We only got one more game.
Michelle is celebrating because football's almost over.
So
Not-
is Lorna.
Yeah, so, but let's talk about our championship games we got. The first one up, we're going to talk the AFC first. We'll let Bill take it from here. Buffalo Bills lose 24-38 to the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. What did the Bills do wrong in this one, Bill?
Well, let me interrupt BB for a minute. Let me jump in. Okay. How stoked was BB when the Bills ran up to like a 9-0 lead?
Oh, yeah.
I turned out, I was like, whoa! Oh, man. And then all of a sudden the Chiefs were like, oh, we're the Chiefs. I forgot.
Yeah. So, Bill?
Don't get me wrong, I was happy to see it.
Yeah, but it was a little too much
At the
short.
same time, haven't the Chiefs, I mean, the last AFC championship game, the same thing happened. They found themselves down 10 or
It's like they
14
spot you a
off the
few
bat.
points. It's like they don't come out of the
Yeah,
locker
no,
room.
and
It's so
this is-
weird.
I mean, sure, I was hoping that the Bills would pull it off, but realistically, this is kind of what I would have expected. The Chiefs are a better team than the Bills are. And so I was actually surprised that the way it went after that first quarter, I'm surprised that they kept it as close as they did. I thought it would get completely away from them, but
Were you guys, and BV notwithstanding, Steve, I'll ask you, I wasn't that entertained by this game. I don't know how else to describe it. I just
thought
was
the
watching it, and it felt like, first of all, Tyreek Hill's a whole other gear that no one else had. I'm like, what is going on? Like,
I was entertained for about the first 8 to 10 minutes when fucking the Buffalo was up 9-0.
it's
I was like,
"Whoa."
and then all of a sudden the Chiefs woke up. It was 7-9. I was like, it's over. They scored again. As soon as it's 14-9, you're like, okay, he's done. My problem with it, I was watching it, and Bill probably can answer this. Buffalo did not like to run the ball whatsoever. Even if they couldn't, they still didn't stick to it. It was 2-3 yards, and then, okay, fuck it, we're passing. Number 2, what I kept seeing, Josh Allen, he cannot read a blitz to save his life. It's not like Kansas City was hiding what they're doing. There was 11 guys on the line.
Stacking
he
that
hides
box.
it. He's back there drinking a cup of tea and gets smashed. I don't know what he's doing. Or I like when he does that move where he scrambles backwards for 30 yards because he's going to outrun them all.
Because he's Josh Allen, and he's an MVP candidate.
Yeah, and then he gets sacked for minus 30 yards.
Bill's Mafia, including BV, somehow was trying to sell us on his bill of goods all year.
Or then he gets intentional grounding. That was one of them. Remember that one? So I get you're fast, but you're not going to outrun 9 Chiefs. It's just not
a
going to
DN
happen.
in the NFL.
Yeah, and Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator of the Chiefs, was not hiding what he's doing. I know when you look at the line and everyone's like, coming in like that, when it looks like any given Sunday, and the guys are, I'm going to eat your lunch, man. It's like,
Willie Beeman.
they might be blitzing. I'm just saying. So, any thoughts on that, Bill?
he did not handle the blitz well.
No.
against KC at all.
Neither
Particularly, I
did-
know we were texting back and forth, and there was one particular play where you were bitching about him with the blitz, and then literally, and I don't even think it was a blitz.
Yeah,
Literally, there was a rush off the end on his right side, so it wasn't like it was blindside, and he just didn't react to it at all. The guy just kind of right in his face, ran up to him, sacked him, and that was
Yeah,
it.
he statued it. He just
It
stood
wasn't.
there.
Yeah, he got into the
It
habit
wasn't the
of,
lineman's fault.
and this apparently only works for Mahomes because he has the laser rocket arm. That whole thing that they do now, where they
Stay
just try to
firm.
drift back and then just fling the ball while they're going backwards. I don't quite. He would have been well served to just eat the ball and take the sack in the first place, or get rid of it rather than he's got like that. Try to make a play every down itis that bites him in the ass. And
Yeah, but
needs to
he
get
was
out of that.
blown all year long, so he thought he was the savior of all things, Rochester, New York. and that is the
It had
problem.
worked up until that point. Now the running game, though, you talked about, they had some success earlier in the year, but they were having difficulty. About midway through the year, they started having trouble running, and it seems like they've progressively used it less and less. And pretty much the entire playoffs, they haven't even tried to establish a run. It's basically just if I can throw every down. So.
If I'm the Bills, I'm going to try to find a running game in this offseason. Because if they would ran some draws, maybe some screens, maybe those blitzes
Throwing
weren't
behind him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it was, I don't know.
Or how about just hit a hot route to the guy on the side that the blitz came from?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Madden 101.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
you're blitzing from the corner, throw the ball out into the flat where the corner just came from.
I mean, the Chiefs are who we thought they were, but at the same time,
Danny, calm down.
I know. At the same time, some of that was on the Bills. It's like, I mean, Jesus Christ, there's 10 dudes at the line. You don't know the blitz is coming, and you're gonna run back 20 yards and get sacked. Retarded. So next up, of course, we had the NFC Championship game where Gabe and Scott sat there with giant hard-ons through the whole game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers win 31-26 over the Green Bay Packers because Ron Rodgers, they couldn't block for him.
I was gonna say, like,
read the
that
blitz.
game just go to show you that the Russell Wilson mentality of like one dude can carry a whole team just doesn't work. Like at some point, you got to put other people around. I've never seen a guy run for his life like Aaron Rodgers. He was getting destroyed back there. It was like as soon as the ball was snapped, it was unbelievable. Todd Bowles is the MVP of that game. I'm sorry. Like, that's the D coordinator for Tampa.
Yeah.
He looked like a genius. And Jason Pierre-Paul with his missing digit ass was destroying. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Tom Brady was giving the Packers the game, but they couldn't do anything.
He gave them 3 interceptions in the second half.
Oh, my God.
It should be noted for our fellow Michigan slappy friends that, Brady actually, despite his best efforts to give the game back to the Packers, is still going to the Super Bowl. Anyone that's going to sit there and talk about how Brady's the reason they're there needs to take a very close look at that second half.
Tampa Bay's defense won them 2 playoff games.
Because Aaron Rodgers should have woke up the next day like punchy, like and he was getting sacked at night. It was the craziest thing.
And he played well when he actually had an opportunity to do something.
And then can we discuss the fact that they took the field goal? Like, what is that? Like, and everyone's like, oh, do the numbers. Okay, like you don't have Aaron Rodgers and they don't have Tom Brady. Like,
and the play before that, the field was wide open. He could have ran it.
Yeah, I think he could have ran on that third down.
It just makes no sense.
Even still, right? So the only real difference there is that you're down 8. So if you go for it on fourth, and you still have to get the 2-point conversion. But either way, right? If they fail, you still need a touchdown. I can understand if the
you
field
need another
goal
possession
brought
either
you
way.
to within 3 or something, right? If it brought you to within 3, fine. But if you go for it and you miss, then at least you're going to have to come back and score a touchdown anyway. And now they're inside their own 10.
Yeah.
So if you can actually, and what would give?
He was coaching like it wasn't the last game of the year.
Yeah,
That's
not even just the
LaFleur
numbers.
guy was coaching like it was week 14. It's like, dude, there is no tomorrow. All right, it's over.
Well, in what part of, with the exception of the interceptions, what part of any portion of that game should have given him any confidence that defense would actually stop Tampa and they get the ball back? Because they didn't stop Tampa at all.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I never seen Rodgers run for it. Was like I said, it was like watching a Seahawks game. It was exactly what I could think of. Like, you can't just put it all on one dude. You can't do it. And the NFL loves to do that in 2021, and it's crazy. That was nuts.
Well, it didn't work for Green Bay. They are done. And now every Michigan fan in the world has got a boner a mile long.
He's playing a home game.
He's playing a home game, and he's still going to lose. So that's it for the Super Bowl. Kansas City Chiefs versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, we have another podcast before the Super Bowl, so we'll probably go, and we're going to go to the casino and play some bets on this stuff. So we're definitely going to recap who we've all bet on by next week. But early previews, does anyone think, well, we all hate Brady. So, but the Chiefs are the Chiefs. I mean, I like the Chiefs in this one. Did anyone else disagree?
Can anyone make I guess my point would be, can anyone make a case, like BB was saying, so they've got a banged up line, they lost a lineman. What is the case to say Tampa can win is what I'll pose to you two.
A good pass rush. They do have that.
Yeah. This is the one. Okay, so both offensives do have weapons. All right, so it's not like, as much as I hate Tom Brady and whatnot, Tampa Bay can score points. The Chiefs thing with so Eric Fisher, one of the best left tackles in football, tears his Achilles in the fourth quarter of that game against Buffalo. So he's clearly not playing.
Isn't he from Central
And-
Michigan?
I don't know.
Yes, yeah.
That's what-
He was like I think he was like a top 5
Raisin
pick,
Bowl
too.
over here. Wow, look at Steve.
Yeah, and the thing is though is that so normally I would think, all right, yeah, the Buccaneers do have a pretty good defense, and that's been their strength. But what concerns me about this game, from the standpoint of giving them where Kansas City might lose, is that their strength, even with the pass rush, is edge rush, right? So it's your your rush linebackers and your defensive ends. They're not like a rush you up the middle team. So suddenly now you got a backup left tackle, or you have to move people around to get it. Right circumstances, they could give Mahomes a lot of trouble. I still think probably at the end of the day, Chiefs have too many weapons, and we don't know how, because Tampa Bay was playing without both their safeties in that second half against the Packers. So who knows if they're going to be able to play banged up. So I think there's a case that can be made. I don't think this is a blowout game. At least not my initial. I think it probably ends somewhere within 10 points.
Probably within 7, really. Tampa Bay will run the ball, unlike the Bills. Leonard Fournette will touch the ball every once in a while, so they'll run the ball a little bit. They'll be smart enough to run some screens.
There's just no way they have. They do
ran a
not
tight
have
end
the
screen.
firepower to compete with the Chiefs. Is what it boils down to. Again, they had a whole other gear that, like, I'm telling you, Buffalo was like, wait, dude, how fast is this dude? Like, what is going on? Like, it was crazy.
This is also the same Kansas City team that they were talking about that had won the last, 8 games that they had won had been by a combined 32 points. So the offense up until this last week had not exactly been, setting the world on fire either. So they had struggled. The right circumstances. I mean, this to me, for Tampa to have a chance to win this game, they need to look a lot like, and I'm going to age myself even more here, but they need to look a lot like that Bill Parcells Giants team that played in Super Bowl 25 against
Phil
the
Simms
Bills.
has been a commentator for 45 years already.
Bill Simms wasn't the quarterback in that game.
Oh,
Jim
Costello.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because Simms was injured, as he typically
But nonetheless, he's been retired.
But
for
yeah, but
49
that kind of a
years.
game plan, if they can, I mean, and even in their pass game, they tend to control clock. Brady is patient enough to take what and to dink and dunk, and they have no problem doing 15 plays, 7-8 minute drives, even if it's not all running. So if they're able to do that, I don't think I still agree with you. I think at the end they don't have enough firepower. The Chiefs have more of it in both players. I think their defense like for example, the Chiefs secondary is quite a bit better than Tampa's, and I think they have a much better chance of shutting down Evans and Godwin and Gronk than Tampa has shutting down Hill, Hardman, and Kelsey. So, but you can make a case for it. I don't think it's a complete set in stone. KC will win no matter what.
Well, sometime this weekend we'll put our monies where our mouth is, and we'll figure
$100 a piece.
We'll come back and tell you. So now back to the Budweiser though. So all these companies are going on and telling you, "Oh, I ain't gonna spend the money."
I've seen
COVID.
3 of them. Yeah.
So here's what they're doing. Budweiser, I know for a fact, is doing this one. So they put their Budweiser commercial already on YouTube. They still bought Super Bowl ads for Bud Light Seltzer, and their other products.
It's not a Budweiser.
This is not a Budweiser.
Oh my
commercial.
God.
And Pepsi. What does Pepsi own?
The halftime. The Pepsi halftime.
Well, halftime. And also, they own Frito-Lay. There's multiple Dorito ads that are going to be done. So all these companies are telling you to do it. They're a bunch of jerking you off. I don't even know the point of not having the ads. Because it was COVID and they weren't going to waste the money or something. I forget what it was.
To me, I wouldn't begrudge any company. If I'm a shareholder, as Steve is in Hormel Chili, I would be like, dude, get out there. You got the most eyeballs you're going to see. What are we doing? If you can
I
afford
got an
it.
email the other day from Disney about a shareholder meeting. I could have
okay.
voted on something.
There you go.
So, Bill, now that we've talked about everything, why don't you talk about your pick from last week?
Okay, well, sure. Again, so of course, picked Green Bay, giving 3.5 points to Tampa. Everyone agreed this was a sound pick. Green Bay by far has been the dominant team of the season, particularly the second half of the season. The one thing I didn't account for in my reasoning was the possibility that the entire Packer team would have one big collective bowel movement on their bed during the game. So I'm pretty certain that they still haven't cleaned the shit off of the field at Lambeau. But so they lose despite Brady's best efforts to give them the game, because as badly as they played, they still had legitimate opportunities. I think you argue maybe should have still won that game. But they lose. They not only don't cover, they don't even win. They lose outright. So I take yet another completely unexplainable loss. Once again, getting fucked. Record goes to 9-12-1. Lose another $10. Total for the year now minus 35-20. So basically, I'm either going to win my Super Bowl pick or my season shall be an entire loss of.
I gotta admit, when Bill makes a Super Bowl pick, I might ask him to go the opposite way.
I'm not going to tell you who I picked.
Damn
I'm not
it.
putting it on the board who I picked either. Well, I will announce it once the picks are already made.
Oh,
So
okay.
screw you. Although,
Can we do
as
any
a-
weird
as a-
prop
the only-
bets?
The best tip
Are
I
there
could
prop
give you.
bets?
Best tip, yeah, I'm sure there are.
Yeah.
The best tip I could probably give anyone who listens or watches the show would be that your best bet is to wait to see what I pick and then pick the other side.
So there you go. There's a look at what happened to Bill. He got screwed. Green Bay fell apart. I on the show, I said Green Bay's going to slaughter him.
Yeah.
I lost
should
20.
have.
I Bill make feeling better. I lost $20 to Scott.
Oh, did you?
I took Green Bay because Scott was talking shit about Brady, even though I told him it was the defensive one. But
Yeah,
whatever.
at least I lost my money to a faceless corporation and you lost it to Scott Bergeron.
Yes,
It does make me feel a little better, to tell you the truth.
Well, there you go. So you weren't the only loser this week. All right, Charles. So all the movies are getting postponed in the theaters, and I thought we'd recap some of them. Now, we mentioned before in the podcast that HBO Max is putting out all the different movies they were supposed to release in theaters this year on HBO Max.
It's all the Warner Brothers movies.
Warner Brothers, yeah, AT&T, Warner Brothers. So we're gonna go over each one. You guys can tell me if you're interested in this, or it sounds like a piece of crap, or maybe you want to watch it, and we can kind of analyze if HBO Max can be worth it, if these movies are going to be worth it. So first up is The Little Things. This is Denzel Washington, Rami Malek, and Jared Leto. This is kind of looks like a mystery. Jared Leto might be a serial killer, and Denzel Washington's trying to chase him down. Trailers look fantastic for this. This comes out this Friday, January 29th. I'm very interested. I'm a yes on this one. Bill, what do you think? And then we'll get to Charles.
Well, I the more I keep hearing about it, the more I think I might want to watch it. But I have a question, and this is going to show my ignorance. We all know I don't watch, I just watch maybe a small fraction of the movies you guys watch. But Jared Leto, is this that dude that was from like My So-Called Life years ago?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Oh
30 Seconds to Mars or whatever, the band or whatever. Yep, it sure is.
Okay,
So
That's
BB's
my
all
only
in on
real-
this one now.
no, that's really the only
He's
frame
found his
reference I have
niche,
for that guy,
though.
and I hated that show.
Yeah.
He's a lot better now than he was then.
I would hope so. But yeah, it looks. Does it seem like it's going to be sort of like along the lines of not with the obviously different plot, but like him being like a break the rules kind of hard ass, sort of like a Training Day.
He's
kind
supposed
of
to be
cop.
like the bad cop. It looked like it from the trailer. Yeah.
Or an older about to retire.
Yeah.
cop.
And he
Something
knows Leto's guilty somehow, but he can't prove it. And
Yeah.
then he's basically like in his face, like, what are you going to do?
like- Yeah.
That does seem kind of interesting. Yeah, actually, I think I probably will watch it.
I already tried to find it. I was a week early going like, where's that new Denzel movie? I thought it was on
Charles
here.
thought he was going to get a free preview.
Yeah, dude, I'm into it. I want to see it. I like Rami Malek. I think that Jared Leto plays creepy really well, and like you said, he's found his niche of like being the eccentric kind of actor and all that, kind of a la that a Joaquin Phoenix kind of vibe and all that. I'm all in. Yeah, as soon as it debuts, I'm gonna check it out that night. So yes, definitely.
So that's in January. Then in February, there's two in February, actually. This first one had a weird title, so I wasn't sure. But then when I looked it up, it looks pretty good. Judas and the Black Messiah. This is the rise and formation of the Black Panthers in the 70s. Fred Hampton is the actual leader of and the guy who's playing him, you'll recognize him if you see the trailer. I can't think of his name. I think he was in Get Out and other movies. It looks pretty good. I do like some historical stuff, even though one night in Miami was a little slow. So I'm a yes on this one. Charles, what do you think?
Yes. We're doing 2 for 2 for me. So far, I'm like, your Netflix movies you can keep. I'm going to keep watching these HBO Max shit, especially because I only pay a $5 above my AT&T TV now, which we'll discuss in a little bit. Yeah, all day. Yes.
And Bill, what do you think?
Yeah, I actually had never heard of this until I looked at the show notes. But yeah, this looks like something I want to watch.
Yeah, it looks really interesting.
He's also off of Atlanta. I know exactly who you're talking about now.
Oh, you know the guy? Yep. So, and then that's also in February. They're going to give you kid-friendly Tom and Jerry.
It's in real life too.
Yeah, it's a Roger Rabbit type deal. They're in a hotel. They hire Tom to chase Jerry down to get the mouse out of it. I'll watch it.
There's a big name actress. I want to say, is it Kaylee Cuoco or something like that?
No. It's the girl off.
Who's the girl?
Chloe something. I can't think of her last
You'll
name.
know her when you see. Yeah.
She's been in Kick-Ass and some other shows.
Yeah. She's in some stuff.
She's she was also in the Zombieland and stuff like that. So I'll probably watch it. I like animation, so I'd probably have to watch it for Steve's Animation Corner. BV, what do you think?
I saw a preview or it wasn't a full trailer, but a preview for this. I'm not a real big animation guy, but I love like the old school stuff. I do love me some Tom and Jerry, so yeah, I'll watch that too.
All right, they're 3 for 3 right now, Charles.
And I'm 3 for 3 because I loved Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It was great and all that kind of stuff. And I saw Steve described. So they bring in the cat to chase after the mouse because he's living in the hotel.
Yeah,
they're supposed to have a big event, and he shows up. Yes, I'm telling you, man.
Now we already covered this one a little bit. Godzilla vs. Kong. I would have went to the theater to see this one. It doesn't matter. I'm a big yes. You didn't even have to ask me, Bill. What do you think?
I kind of half like the really old school Godzilla movies. This is just, I think it's a little much. I probably won't watch this one simply because it's just too CG. It's too, I don't know. With some of those movies, when they get too modern, just kind of lose some of the appeal to me. So I probably won't watch it, but I understand completely why you guys want to see it.
And Charles?
I got to do a lot of homework. I got to start with the Puff Daddy movie. I'll watch it for sure if it's on like a streaming service. It's a top tier movie on a streaming service. I'm gonna check it out. It's got Coach Taylor in it. I mean, I'm gonna watch that from Friday nights.
It's got Eric from True Blood in it, too.
I'm watching it, dude. I'm definitely. But like you said, I feel like those 2 Godzilla movies, I do want to homework-wise and go back and watch them because I've not seen them. I'm not going to listen to your reviews because I could care less. The Puff Daddy one or this one?
No, the 2 newer ones.
Oh,
the King of the Monsters and the regular
I'm going to
Godzilla.
put the Puff Daddy one in the running on this just so we know.
That is a giant piece of shit.
Come with me. Where's he at, dude?
So the Godzilla's in...
BB's picking up my guitar riff, Steve. God damn it.
Godzilla's in March, and then coming in April, this is supposed to be R-rated. So they're going R-rated on a Mortal Kombat movie. I haven't seen a trailer yet, which makes me a little nervous. Mortal Kombat, Bill, not Conjuring. There you go.
I got ahead of one.
Okay. Looks. I already bought the damn animated movie, so I'm video game slappy. Of course, I'm going to watch this. Bill.
Yeah, this is one of those things where the fun of the video game doesn't carry over into the movie for me. So no.
This is going to be the biggest CG turd of the bunch. This is going to be like BB's describing. Like sometimes like modern movies have no soul because they're all CG crap. That's what this is going to be. But if it's on a streaming service, I'll probably check it out. Would I ever go to the theater to watch that? Oh, hell no.
I'm going to be honest. I would have went to the theater to see Godzilla and Mortal Kombat. So there we go. Next up, this looks like it's Bert's month in June here on HBO Max. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. This is from the Conjuring series. I've never seen any of it. I don't care. This is the one I won't watch, so I'm a no. Bill?
Huh? What?
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough,
I'm gonna assume that means no, but yeah.
I've seen a Conjuring movie or two actually.
Really?
And they're terrible. So I'm a no. Yeah.
They must be dirt cheap to make because they make a lot of these.
Yeah, I want to say that Ron Livingston's in the first one or something like that, and then the weird. They're terrible. Avoid horror movies suck. I know Bert loves them. Whatever you're into, this is terrible.
Now, up there with horror movies, I also hate musicals. And that is In the Heights, coming June. This is a musical. It's all about Brooklyn and some area in there. I don't know. I don't care. No, dancing and singing, I'm out. Bill?
I think it's supposed to be like some bodega owner, it's like having trouble with this thing about, retiring to the Dominican Republic or something.
Yeah, I know Jimmy Smits is in it. That's about all I know.
I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it, but if I'm bored or something, yeah, I'd check it out.
So BV shit on the Mortal Kombat movie, but he's into like Save the Last Dance, Cubano Nights over here. I don't know why.
It's a musical, not a dance movie.
Whatever.
West Side Story.
I don't know, BV, man. I got to question your review. Mortal Kombat, hell no. But hold on, Bodega and Jimmy Smith.
I didn't hate it. I'll just be honest.
Hey, well, it's kind of good because someone's got to watch it, right? Me and you are going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, even on a streaming service for free, this is a hell no.
Well,
I'm a no. But
okay,
BB's interested.
Yeah, if you don't want to see, I understand. Lin-Manuel Miranda, you're both racist. I get it.
I sat through Hamilton. I didn't think it was all that bad.
Sat through Hamilton.
Yeah, I did. I watched it.
BB's cheered throughout it.
I mean, but In the Heights.
I actually haven't seen it yet. But.
In the Heights, no thanks.
I'm with Steve. Musicals are kryptonite to me. I can't deal with them. I love Hugh Jackman. I can't deal with it.
I just don't know whether this is good
Hugh Jackman's not in this.
I'm just talking about him musicals.
Oh, yeah,
well, so hold on. You watched the Madonna version of freaking.
Evita. That wasn't my
Evita.
idea. That was R.I.P. Brett Nolan's idea.
But you enjoyed it.
No,
I love A Star Is
You were going
Born.
around for months going, "Don't cry for me, Romulus."
Because that was funny. It wasn't because I liked the movie.
You're a closet.
Is A Star Is Born a musical? That's a regular movie with
That's
music.
a regular musical. Yeah, that's not a musical.
Then I like Ray. Is that a musical? What's the rule?
No, it's not a musical.
No, musicals suck. Chicago's a musical.
I'm a no.
What's that one with Nicole Kidman in there in New Orleans? And Ewan McGregor had the famous Lady
Moulin
Marmalade.
Rouge.
Moulin Rouge is a musical. All terrible.
I'm all into Boz Luhrmann.
So next up, coming in July, is LeBron James, the King's debut in Space Jam: A New Legacy. It's animation. I love the Looney Tunes. I could care less about LeBron James, but I'll still watch it because of that. Bill?
I also love Looney Tunes, but I didn't care much for the first Space Jam.
I thought Bill Murray was
and
the
I don't really,
the first
and I
one.
don't care a whole lot for LeBron, so yeah, I'm probably not going to watch it.
I have to watch it because LeBron James is kind of going to be a shitty actor, though.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like,
Well, he was in that one movie, Trainwreck. He was okay in that.
And
he
wasn't
played
good in that
himself.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, and he wasn't good in that either. He's like forced, almost like he's one of those
He's
ones
bad.
where
He's a
you
bad
look, you
actor.
can tell he's reading his lines.
Well, maybe it's gonna be a lot of Looney Tunes.
I'm going to watch it. I'm not saying I'm not going to watch it. Hold on. Let's pump the brakes here. I'm going to watch stiff-ass LeBron James go through. Does Bugs have the weird yellow gloves on, though? That's what
I
I
don't
wonder.
know. I think they went according to that picture. He looks more traditional.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm all in. Yeah, sure.
But you're going to watch it just so you can rip him later.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm into. I like the first Space Jam. Reminds me of my days at AMC movie theater. It was the first time I went.
I just like Bill Murray because he's like, oh, I don't play defense. That's all I remember from that movie. Next up in August is the Suicide Squad. John Cena is in this. That's the old Suicide Squad, but Idris Elba. A lot of people. It's directed by the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. So maybe Charles will like it because he likes Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm a big yes. Bill.
Okay, it's funny you mentioned Trainwreck because John Cena was hilarious in Trainwreck, the little small part he had.
Yeah, that's true.
But I don't know anything about the premise, so I'm still kind of a what here.
I will wait for the porn parody of this. I'm a no. I don't dig Harley Quinn and all that kind of stuff, but I'm gonna say no.
Then the next one, I didn't know what this was until I looked it up. The Many Saints of Newark. This is that prequel Sopranos movie. This is coming out in September. It deals with the Italian and the black gangs feuding in New York. So you're going to see a young Tony Soprano, I guess. It's going to deal with his father and stuff like that. Once I found out what it was, hell yeah, I'm all in. So yes, Bill, I already know the answer.
I do know a little bit about this one. I have a feeling in the back of my mind that this is going to suck, but I will watch it and find out. If it's got Sopranos attached, I'm in. You don't even have to ask.
Intro.
down with
Day one, I'll be watching this. I love The Sopranos. Bird is wrong. It still holds up. He's incorrect. I've watched it within the past year. I've watched the series from beginning to end, and it is great still and still holds up. Love it.
I've watched the series beginning to end at least 3 times, and it holds up every time I watch it.
That's great.
Next up in October after that, now this one got me with the trailer because I hated the original movie. I hated the original miniseries. The trailer looks fantastic, but something tells me that it's not going to be great.
But it's a perfect scenario for something coming to just a free throw-in with your streaming service.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, movie theater, I don't know. I'm definitely going to check it out on streaming. Yeah.
Dune, we're talking about. Oscar Isaac is in this. Batista is in this. Timothy Chalamet, that's the kid right there. I think that's his name. Yep. All the young heartthrobs. Like I said, I hated the 80s movie. It made no damn sense to me. I thought it was terrible. It was a fat guy floating around, and they had all this weird shit. But this one looks great. The trailer looks great. So they hooked me on the trailer, so I'm in for Dune. Bill?
This will complete the circle of crap. No.
I have a science fiction hole that I'm hoping some show can plug. I have a big want for this show or this movie to be really good. I'm with you, fence riding for sure. I'll check it out on streaming all day. And that and the one show we talk about on Apple Plus all the time are the two things that I'm hoping. Yeah, I want those to be good. I need some new science fiction.
Yeah, something outside of Star Wars would need to be good. This next one was a weird one. I didn't see this coming. This is called King Richard. This is about the Williams sisters' father, and Will Smith plays the Williams sisters' father. I would never go to the theater to see this.
What is Williams sisters? What do you mean by the
Serena and
Venus?
Venus. I would never go to the theater to see this, but I sure as hell will watch it on HBO, so I'm a yes. Bill?
Oh, yeah, I'm all over this one. I'm watching that.
That was a very weird. I'm all over this one.
Although I don't like my history with Will Smith playing certain specific characters.
What are you talking about?
I remember the only time I ever went to a movie on Christmas Day was the opening day of Ali, and I thought that he did a pretty weak job in that role. But I'm in the minority. I recognize.
I was gonna
that,
say, wait a second. He got like
I
an
didn't
Oscar nomination. That was like his.
I didn't care for the movie at all.
Watch that One Night in Miami. I'd like to know what you think of that guy playing Muhammad Ali in that. He was pretty good. I thought he was good, anyways. But.
Okay, BB's wrong. This sounds great. I didn't know nothing about it. I don't know what's going on with his hatred of Will Smith.
Well, like I said, it was.
That man can act. BB kissed my ass. Will Smith is good. He's gonna go up as a national treasure soon too. You're wrong, BB.
Bill somehow gets twisted again.
I'm gonna watch it. I mean, I want to see it, but I just
stop your hatred of Will Smith. You can hate his kids and his wife all day, but Will Smith is cool.
All right.
Hey, if Mama named him Fresh Prince, I'm gonna call him Fresh Prince.
Who's more of a national treasure, Will Smith or Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks is a huge. I mean, Tom Hanks is
He's more of a national treasure. Okay.
I'm going to be
Why are you going with the white guy?
Okay, first of all, racist. Tomorrow, if I find out one of these two have to die, I'm going to kill Will Smith. I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'm going to kill Will Smith. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, what if you had to murder one of Rock, you had to murder 2 out of the 3. Okay. Rock, Will Smith, or Tom Hanks?
Okay. I can only keep one of these guys alive.
Only one alive. The other one's got to be in a coma, and the third one you got to kill.
Okay. So I'm definitely going to put the Rock in a coma.
You think Rock can defeat coma?
He can probably can punch coma in the face.
It's his next movie. I'm pretty sure. His next movie's Coma Warrior. You didn't know that.
My money is on the Rock pulling out of that coma. I got to keep Tom Hanks. I really do.
But he's older. He's had a good full life
I know,
already.
but Tom Hanks can still get. Imagine old Tom Hanks and the really old Tom Hanks, like Paul Newman, old Tom Hanks. Yeah. He's gonna give us some gems, people. He just gives us so much good cinematic joy in this world. I'm just.
So you're murdering Will Smith.
I think I'm going to murder Will Smith, but I do it very I'm very crushed to do this, but I had to kill him.
I'm going to pitch that movie to The Rock. Rock versus Coma.
There's only one possible scenario in which this is not an easy decision. If you actually believe that Will Smith in his senior years is going to suddenly turn into like a Morgan Freeman level actor, great. Maybe you have the argument.
Movies, man.
Otherwise, you already know what kind of greatness you get with Hanks, and he probably will continue to get better with these old. He'll just continue, and it'll be top notch all the way through.
Hatred of Will Smith right
And
now,
I
dude.
don't hate Will Smith, but
Dude,
I also
I'm just
don't. I also don't think Will Smith is in the same category as some of these other people. The Rock is just—he has to live because he's The Rock.
No, he doesn't.
And
But
because,
he
like
doesn't
you
have
said,
the.
he would.
But
he would
Steve's
just
right.
lay
His
us to
movies
smack
are
us
suspect.
down on-
His movies are the
on
most suspect.
Tacoma and couple
don't
rock
know.
bottoms and the
Stop.
people's elbow, and that coma's gone.
I didn't
Okay.
realize you hated Will Smith. Is what it boils down.
Just
to.
one more.
I don't hate
Oh,
Will.
what do you got?
You got to murder one. Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone?
I got to murder one.
Yes.
In his older age, this hurts me so bad. This hurts me unbelievably bad. But I'm going to kill Arnold in his old age because the quality of movies I'm getting from Sylvester, oh, man, some of those movies
Arnold's
are...
got a little donkeys.
Social media wise, I love him. I love him on Instagram. he was, but Arnold can be a little cheesy in his old age.
Yeah,
Like, let's be
yeah,
real.
yeah,
Like, I mean, and like I said, like he's doing that movie opposite of Jackie Chan. It looks very CG, kind of garbagey.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas, like I said, some of that last Rambo movie was awesome. People,
Samaritan looks pretty good. with
yeah,
Stallone.
I think that Sylvester Stallone has found his wheelhouse in his old age, and that's what I'm saying with the Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks has got so much good stuff to give us, people. Like, if COVID took him,
right.
I would be beside myself.
All right, so now we got a little sidetracked. Coma
All I know
death
is
team.
my opinion is true. Coma versus The Rock. The Rock wins. I stand by-
I want to see that movie. Like he's in a coma and he's fighting aliens in his coma and he comes out of it.
Dude, everyone's like, dude, the coma couldn't keep him down. The
Yeah,
coma-
fucking Kevin Hart just sitting by his bedside waiting for him. Yeah. All right, so finally in December, Matrix 4. I would have been a lot more pumped for this if I didn't see that last Bill and Ted's movie. But I will watch it because it's on HBO, and I don't go. I would never go to the theater to see it. I didn't see the original.
It's going to be one of those ones I got to wait and see.
Yeah,
it's a
but I will
hard wait
watch
and see. If it were movies, it'd be a wait and see.
Bill, what do you think?
I didn't like 2 or 3. I liked the first one, so no confidence in 4. No.
And Charles?
BV just seems like he's not even into the Matrix movies. Like he's just not even. He barely liked the first one. The first one was so
I like the
mind
first
blowing
one.
for
I
its
just
time.
don't like the other 2. Not every movie. Not every movie should be designed to have 16 different frickin' versions of it and sequels and different. No, some movies are just good to do one shot, let it stand on its own, and that's it.
I
They
think
always
the
have to
Matrix
go
was
for the
one,
2,
and I think
3, the 4,
Hangover
the
was the
16, the
other one.
27.
Hangover.
It's
you
crap.
definitely- I don't know.
Hangover and Matrix should never.
I think it's because of my sci-fi hole. Like I just do. I got a sci-fi hole, fellas, and I need something to plug my sci-fi hole. Like you wouldn't play.
Bill's jerking off in your sci-fi hole.
I need something to hard plug my sci-fi
Close your
hole.
legs.
So I'm definitely now. I would say again, because this is coming to streaming in my house on my Apple TVs. I love it. I'm day one firing that up. I might even try a week early, like I've been known to do. I'll fire that up and watch it. It's just if it were in the theater, I might have to wait and see. But as far as in my house, all day.
So
Fortunately, you'll never have to worry about that again because
that's what 1,
Yeah,
2,
also
3, 4,
true.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 movies. I would say a solid 11 almost. I mean that are watchable.
And if you factor in the fact that HBO Max has the entire series of Batman the Animated Series available
Well, that too.
free of charge with subscription, it's amazing.
Yeah, so I mean, and these aren't Netflix movies. These were movies that were targeted for the theater. So you're going to get high quality movies, especially that Mortal Kombat. Screw both of you.
I
They
can't
better
wait
have the
for that.
techno music.
When you hit that with a hard 6, I'm gonna laugh.
They better hit me with some techno music. They better be Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I better hear that. So also outside of HBO Max, there are 2 big movies coming from Amazon. In March, we got Coming to America 2. Does anyone have high expectations for that?
I want it to be awesome. I think I speak for BV as well. I'm scared for it, but I want it to be awesome. I don't know if it's going to be.
And now they also purchased Chris Pratt's newest movie, Future War.
That's that one you said where he's gonna like resurrect George Patton.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
stuff like that. So
Sounds kooky, but
$200 million they paid for it, so it's a high priced movie. So we got those 2. So maybe Bond disappearing will still have some options. especially with football ending. So
They saying AMC, to BV's point, is only alive by the skin of its teeth. AMC movie theater chain.
Yeah.
They said that basically it was moments away from being just toast. So
they're like, he dies, he dies.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do. And then, like, if you look at, like, what is it? That Liam Neeson movie was like tops in the box office. BV, can you pull up the if you're at your computer still? You got your computer up. Hopefully, if you're talking to me on Skype, you should. But fire up, see what last week's top movie was and what it grossed. I want to say it was like $2 million. It was like that Liam Neeson movie.
It wasn't Wonder Woman.
You just lambasted that.
Well, Wonder Woman doesn't deserve it, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Wonder Woman.
I remember it was that Liam Neeson movie, I want to say.
Oh. So that's look at HBO Max if you want some movies for the next year, and then also you got all kinds of HBO.
Yeah, that's The Marksman. That's a Liam Neeson movie where he's teaching someone.
Sorry, Steve.
No, go ahead. How much did it make?
The weekend was $2 million, and the gross total at this point is 6.1. But the Croods, A New Age, is 1.8 million. Was number 2, but its gross is like just under 42 million.
And it's better than
and
you
that
thought.
seems
That's
to be,
still
Is Wonder Woman on there?
Yeah, it was number 3, 1.6, and total gross is 37.7.
Who would pay?
And those two are by
People
far the
have.
largest overall gross of all the ones on the list here from last week.
Wow, crazy.
So we're gonna move into a little hardware, a little hard-earned reviews. Not hardware; it's actually software. I am a web designer by trade. Everyone kind of knows that. But the one thing I've always liked, and I might have talked about it before on the podcast, is ESET. I'm put this on here because mine just expired.
Can I pause you for a moment?
Sure, go ahead.
Can I pause you for a moment? I have questions. Okay.
Yes.
I hate virus software on a computer.
I know.
It is the most naggy, annoying piece of software you can put on any computer. And it's basically just wants to grab you by the ankles and shake you upside down and take all your money. But they're trying to protect you from the Russians, but they're taking more money than the Russians from me.
Yes.
Are you going to be able to sell me on this, what do you call it, ESET virus protection, that it's nothing like a McAfee or a Norton or any of these annoying softwares?
Yes, and I'll tell you why. It's very, I kind of put it in the quotes too, lightweight and stuff like that. What I mean by lightweight, it doesn't bug you.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. McAfee, it drives me nuts. Norton drives me nuts.
I got to babysit this thing, and it's popping up at me, and it's driving me
nuts. The only
nuts.
pop-up all year I got from this ESET, besides when I downloaded a bad file, it popped up and said, is when it was almost
First of
up.
all, what bad file are you getting? Pornography.
No,
he was trying to get that Space Jam Pono early.
Yeah, I was trying, but no, at work, when our sites get hacked and I got to download the files from the website, some of them are corrupted with bad code. It'll read it through my FTP and tell me, no, don't.
How, and again, for the uninitiated, obviously that's your wheelhouse, right? Mm-hmm. How often or what percentage of are they hitting servers when they're hacking a bunch of stuff and trying to?
It's always servers.
They're not trying to get the individual computers, right?
Right. They're trying to attack servers
to hold them hostage.
Either to hold hostage or use them to turn around and send out shitloads of emails.
To get that blast where they can
get those blasts. And then also,
so they're going to get in, hack into your email domain, all your email list, pull that up so they can fire off the Nigerian prince emails.
Yeah,
trying to do.
that's what they do. They also.
How often does this happen, in your opinion, as a professional in that world?
In that world, how often does it happen to websites or people's computers?
Let's talk about in general.
Mostly in websites, so WordPress, smaller sites. I would say you might get a breach at least once every 6 months.
Jeez, that's pretty. And if you have a lot of e-commerce and a lot of information on there, you definitely want to secure that.
And there's been times when they broke in, took down the whole front page, and said, "You want this back? We got your stuff."
That's the hostage stuff. Yeah.
So then I have to go in, get rid of that file because it's always just a file, and then remove that.
Because basically, a website is just a file hosted on a server. Somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're basically just saying, blow that out.
And you're playing Where's Waldo? You're going through lines of code, and then you'll see some long, weird line that doesn't look. It's like, what is that?
That's the copy and paste.
So they find weaknesses in your website or your server. Now WordPress, because it's so popular, it's one of the number one softwares that everyone uses to build websites. So just like Microsoft, when you're the most popular, people learn you the most. They find you, and that's usually plugins. Is usually the plugins. So WordPress does this. But then you're going to get a plugin to put it in here, and it'll do this. So now I can have a magic calendar or something like that.
Gotcha.
Well, plugins are just made by anybody. So BV made BV's Wonder Calendar.
So
5 years ago,
meanwhile,
threw it in the store.
Kalichnikov in Russia made
Had
one.
figured out the calendar. knows that if he puts it
put
to this
under
file,
John Smith's calendar.
Yeah. So they learn all these loopholes in this shit. Now, where ESET comes in, like I said, if you're doing FTP, you're pulling those files down, it'll read that miscellaneous code. It'll block it from your computer and tell you what it was.
You've personally seen
Yes, I've seen it done.
a
little red
something
box
say,
comes up.
Hey, this is suspect.
Yes, it's suspicious. They'll put it in quarantine or they won't even let you FTP it down.
Okay.
So I've seen that happen. Now, you're going to say, well, I'm not a web developer. What the hell? There's also websites. So you're on Chrome or whatever you have, and you go to RomanovsFreeDVDs.com, and you go to it. The whole tab on your thing will turn red from your ESET and tell you this is a suspicious site. It'll give you the option to go to it if you want, but it's telling you
We'll go, but this is suspect.
it's telling you get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
So I like it like that. So like I said, the only pop-ups you get are, hey man, this is fucked up. Don't go here. And then near the end of the subscription, I get a pop-up that says, hey, you're about to expire in a week.
So it's at least a minimalist way of protecting the average user. So you're saying, in your professional opinion in web design, that this is a quality virus software because it will do what you need it to do
And not bug you 24/7.
and not be obnoxious.
And doesn't take up a lot of resources on your computer because McAfee does that a lot. Where it'll,
Dude,
if
it's
you got an older
brutal.
computer,
you can't
it'll
even
bog your
reboot
computer.
it. Yeah,
And
like,
sometimes it's almost impossible to get McAfee off your computer when you're uninstalling
you
it.
can't even like
It's
pull
sometimes
it
it
all.
just-
It's rooted in
Yeah,
there.
it's almost worse than the viruses is protecting you.
And that's how I feel.
Hate McAfee. And
Okay.
McAfee shows up on everything. This doesn't. Now, for 3 computers, I got my computer at home, my wife's, and then I did Holly's, but she's got an Apple now, so it doesn't work. But they sell an Apple version. So for 3 devices, it's $59 for the whole year.
So let me ask the question here.
Mm-hmm.
So again, in your professional opinion, someone like BV, when I call you professional, you get weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you're like BV, you do a little light pornography, you do your work, you do your Zooms and all this kind of stuff. Should BV have the ESET virus program on his machines in his house?
Yes, I think so. Or some version close to it. If it's not ESET, some other program that's lightweight.
Do you think a lot of it comes down to that a lot of people that you deal with in your day-to-day life working for VR Metro, LLC, 10% owner, all this kind of stuff, if you think that a lot of it is used. So in other words, I'm a pretty savvy tech guy.
Yeah.
I don't like to run a virus software because I don't like the intrusion of it. It's super annoying. But I also know not to click on Romanov's DVD link.
Yeah.
Do you think that as long as you get pretty deeper into websites and you might see and have to do some work on something that has been compromised? What I'm saying is I might do a little light pornography and some ESPN or something like that on my computer. Nothing crazy. Do you think I should have that on my devices?
You personally could probably get away without having it.
Because I'm smart enough not to click on the Nigerian prince's email.
But it doesn't hurt to have that extra layer. And because this software doesn't bug you, I don't think it would drive you nuts.
Okay, I get you.
So, but for someone like Michelle or
Her
parents,
yeah.
I put it on all Donald Henson's computers. He paid for 3 years. I was like, "Look, you put this on here." And it's not even him. The problem is
He's just shaking his head.
the problem is.
Well, yeah, I just don't want to get lumped in with that. I'm smart enough not to open the freaking print
Well,
email or go to.
You notice I said Michelle and her
No,
parents.
yeah.
It's not even Michelle's dad. It's Ken goes over there, and I've had
He's
Ken,
heavy pornography, so he's a difference.
and also
He gets that meaty arm going, it's over.
yeah,
So you
when
know
that
where
Nick
he's
gets
going.
moving. Well, also too, I personally told him he goes to all the torrent sites to steal movies.
See, that's what I'm saying.
He's had a laptop like just locked up. I was like, dude, you can't keep going to these sites.
But
I
now
thought people stopped going to torrent sites like 5 years ago.
Well, Ken catch up.
he's got to get that Suicide Squad porn. He's got to get that early.
Well, he might not be going now, but last I saw him, yeah,
But I'll tell you what I like to do. I like to, every few months, I like to back up my personal information onto a removable hard drive. I'll blow my computer out. Whenever I start to feel that sluggishness creep in, I'll blow it out. I don't care. I think people need to get a little more into that instead.
Yeah, but that's a whole day gone. And people
but that's
what
it sounds like. That's what you do. Is what you're saying. Like, hey, if a website gets, I'll just rip it all out of there. And dude, I
we usually have
paying
backups.
Yeah,
so,
and that's smart. You know,
we never pay anybody. But yeah. I personally, ESET, I recommend it highly for a professional level or even just.
So this is not a
browsers.
Macintoshian thing. This is purely on the Windows.
Well,
machines.
you can get a Mac version of it.
Do you recommend it on a Macintoshian?
This thing with the Mac is not a lot of viruses are on the Mac.
But like you said, it's numbers. They love to like tout that, but it's like because no one's on here.
Yeah, no one's on a fucking Mac except for on their fucking iPhone.
Yeah.
So I would, if I had a Mac, I probably wouldn't bother. But I definitely with a Windows PC. Yeah, Bill.
I have a question.
Wow.
Since I'll fall in somewhere, hopefully.
What's
somewhere
the name of that Yugoslavian choke porn site that you're on all the time, BB? Have you ever gotten a red warning
on
that?
I'm not familiar with any Yugoslavian choke porn, but
it's called Hugo's Neck.
I'm going to slot myself in here with tech savviness somewhere in between, say Charles and
joking porn,
Michelle or your in-laws. Okay, like I'm savvy enough to know not to walk into stupid situations.
Right.
Okay, so I have been using actually things that I've downloaded for they've come with like new purchases of the new computers. When I bought my laptop, it came with a Trend Micro, which I used, and it had a little bit of the pop-ups, but not a lot. On this all-in-one that I've got a couple months back, I have it's called WebRoot.
Mm-hmm. Best Buy likes that one a lot.
What?
Best Buy likes that one a lot.
They're like bundle it with your purchase. I hate that. Yeah. God.
Well, it was a download. It wasn't bundled. It was like I could download it separately. Yeah. And so, because I think it came with either, I think it came with Norton, and I don't care for Norton, so I pulled it off. I don't like those. Yeah, so
just take over.
Do you
Norton
think that ESET sort of distinguishes itself from like some of those other ones? Is it particularly? I don't have that much. A lot of these, I had never used Trend Micro or WebRoot before they download, whatever. But
the only thing I know about WebRoot is the Geek Squad and Best Buy must have some kind of deal with them.
Because they're pimping it.
They're always pimping it.
And it's in my cart when I purchase something.
Yeah, they give it to you free.
That.
You buy a toaster, they give you WebRoot.
Yeah, it's like, wait, what the
hell?
It
was like a 6-month trial of it, so I popped it on, so I didn't have to deal with it right away.
I gotta tell you guys, I feel just so assaulted all the time by these devices. Like you're saying, I'm intrigued.
Sexually assaulted, or
both with the Yugoslavian choke porn.
The Yugoslavian choke porn.
I'm just saying,
Hugo's redneck.
He's all on that. It's like all the time. Listen, but I'm just saying, I always feel so assaulted by him, and that's what I think has got me so like affronted to any kind of virus software. I think I'd rather just rip my computer off every 6 months and just redo it than deal with the pop-ups on a daily basis. It's that annoying.
If you gave ESET a try for a year, just the basic, of course they have the mega protection.
Yeah,
basic level virus is all I get. It's very, very, very light. That's
in your professional opinion.
You know who recommended it, or where I heard it from 10 years ago? Leo Laporte.
I love Leo Laporte.
He highly suggested it. He's like, it's very low.
Leo Laporte is an old tech TV guy, and he does a great podcast,
a
very
podcast.
OG podcast. What's his Tech Minute or something like that? Is what he
Yeah.
does Twit, but what is the?
I don't remember.
Look up Leo Laporte if you get a chance. If
Yeah.
you're curious and you want to pick someone's brain who really knows tech.
He has a radio show that he turns into a podcast.
Yeah,
each
it's great.
week. So
I like
listen to
Leo
it all
Laporte.
the time. But he recommended it, and that's where I found it, and I started. And Micro Center, ironically, always has it on sale. So if you ever want to get it,
Is that how you do it, or you just do it through their website?
now I do the website because I'm too lazy to drive out to Sterling Heights or wherever it is that they're located. But yeah. So anyways, there you go. A little look at ESET, a little look into my weird world of virus protection.
And a little weird look into BV's world.
Yeah,
as we found out.
Yugoslavian choke porn.
I don't even. Is that even a thing?
I like how he's playing so
doing?
coy about
Yeah,
it.
like he doesn't.
I don't know, you saw Yuri choking a girl for he was like,
I have gone up until recently. I had gone multiple years without having any
porn
virus antivirus software, and I've had no problems.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, most people, My father-in-law might click the email from the prince in Uganda or something. So
if it says phonics, he's
At this-
clicking on it immediately.
yeah, most of us have figured out what to click and what not to click. But
And like you said, like the more you get to those janky sites, man, people with those janky sites, like,
and
dude,
you
what
find
are
your one
doing?
clean porn site, just go to that one over and over.
What one? BV, you got the? Can you give the URL to the Yugoslavian one?
I'm afraid not.
Anyway,
I don't want anyone. I don't want anyone crashing the
slowing
server.
it down. BV, there's too much traffic on Yuri's choke porn. This is crazy. All right, so anyway,
Let's go to the UFC.
let's go to the UFC. Let's get off BV for a minute here. All right, so big event happened this past Saturday.
Yeah.
A huge event. UFC 257 took place from Fight Island. Dustin Poirier, round 2 KO of Conor McGregor. Big deal in the fight world. I came on this show and told you I didn't think I stood a chance. Conor looked loose going into it and all this kind of stuff and looked really confident. I also didn't think that Dustin Poirier had changed enough to change the result. He'd already lost to him one time before.
I got a gnarly question though. It's been gnawing at me. Who had the bigger choke job, Conor McGregor or the Green Bay Packers?
Yeah, well, I think Conor's a big one. I'll be honest.
He's a bigger joker.
But it's like we talked about before, Steve, and I think you're 100% right. Come to Steve, he'll tell you, always take the underdog in all
telling
things
you.
MMA. It will pay dividends, is what it boils down to. Because no one tells the other fighter they're not supposed to win. It's always the weirdest thing.
Yeah, there's no refs to help Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show you, man. That's a crazy thing. So now McGregor is now 22-5. I don't know if that record's holding the cachet that they really need it to really draw in those eyeballs. I don't regret my decision not to get the pay-per-view. I'm happy that we didn't because also it would have ended at like 2:00 in the morning and all that kind of
We both
stuff.
fell asleep.
And then and the same fight card, Michael Chandler got a round 1 KO to Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker again would
Dan Hooker used to hang out with Breck.
R.I.P.
His friend Hooker.
I thought that was Rob Hooker.
Rob.
Yeah.
Close enough.
All right. So anyway, back to Yuri's. So big deal. I was shocked. No other way when I got up and looked up the news because me and Steve kind of sound like we did the same thing the next day. You got to look at them results and go,
Yeah,
"Oh
that's
man,
the best
look
way
at
to do
that."
it.
Yeah.
His
now-
leg got jacked up from what I saw an interview with him at that night.
He's going to be medically
He said-
out for a while, is what they're saying.
Yeah,
too.
he said his leg got. He was taking the. He said he thought he was checking the kicks well, but I guess his leg got compromised, and then he was pretty much a sitting duck.
WWE's been throwing feelers out to him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's getting to that point, but he's got a healthy bank account, dude. And like you said, he's got a habit that needs some money pouring in. So we'll see. So UFC is going to head back to the UFC Apex. They're done with Fight Island yet again. They're not going to fight until the night before the Super Bowl. You're going to have Alistair Overeem is going to fight Alexander Volkov. I can't speak tonight. I'm too
Any
busy.
relation to Nikolai?
No, I don't think
He's
so.
watching
I
Yugoslavian choke porn. You know that guy does.
TV's so into that. It's so crazy. Anyway, and then the Friday before the Super Bowl, you have Paige Van Zant's debut in the BKFC is taking place against Britton Hart. I'm a little bit into this. I might need to get some BKFC in my life. I need to see if I got money on the underdog in this just because no one
Might
told
as
her.
well.
Yeah. So anyway, big.
I'm gonna bet on that to the Super Bowl.
give me some
I
action.
would
on
watch. I would watch Paige Van Zant choke porn though.
Oh, BB's into it. All right.
Now, which
that.
one's Paige? The one on the,
The
left? or
blonde,
the
yeah,
blonde?
the blonde.
Blonde.
That'd be creepy if it was a tatted up chick. BB might be waiting to the Yuri
man.
site, dude.
The appreciably more attractive one. Of the
Oh,
two.
okay. Well, maybe like chicks with tats. Some guys do.
I'm not into tats at all. Don't like tats whatsoever.
Wow. Can you like on Yuri's site? Can you check the like preferences and stuff like that so you can like tattoos, no tattoos? Like how does that work? Can you?
Seriously, eat a dick.
So anyway, but that's what's going on with the fight game. We're gonna slowly.
man.
I don't know what to do. I'm.
Vote for the bet on the underdogs. What you need to do.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm gonna do when football.
Now, did
season's
you hear
over.
the story about the dude who got fired?
When he was over the balconies and all that stuff? Yeah, with the
Bill, did
drugs
you hear about
and everything?
that?
Yeah. The night before the event, he was scaling balconies or had someone scale.
Well, his boy was.
Yeah, scaling balconies.
What was in the bag
They
that
never-
he was delivering?
they
It
never
must have been
talked
drugs,
about it,
so they
yeah.
all got fired. He got fired, so there you go. All right, so there's UFC. McGregor's future's in jeopardy right now. I mean, is
Yeah,
anyone paying top dollar to
I
fight
don't
him
know,
now?
man.
Maybe he will be fighting one of the Logan brothers. Shortly.
Yeah, and then Logan brother chipped off at him too. Like took back the $50 million fight and said, "I'll give you 50,000 and all this because you're not worth it anymore." And stuff.
Oh man,
They're
one
trying
loss.
hard.
Everyone shits on him after one loss. But that's how the UFC set up. You lose once, you're fucked.
It's tough. It's tough, dude.
You got to keep winning. All right, let's go into the news. A couple weird ones, a couple price hikes. First up, Microsoft. You familiar with them? Heard of that?
I'm aware of them.
Small mom and pop
Yeah.
shop. Have you heard of them?
They made a couple dollars.
Yeah, they have Xbox Gold. Xbox Gold is what you would get if you wanted to play online on your Xbox. And it was $60 a year. Well, earlier in the week, they announced they're raising the price from $60 to $120 a year.
Which is crazy.
That is
I've seen
big
some
price hike.
Yeah. We complain on here for $2 with Netflix, and you're talking about literally doubling the price. Crazy.
A lot of people felt the theory was everyone will abandon the live and then go to the Game Pass, which has the live.
Which
in
is
it.
the best value in gaming.
Yes,
We've
still say
chronicled. So how much is a year? School?
$15 a
maybe?
month for Ultimate Game Pass.
You
That
can't
includes
do
the
it
live.
annual on that?
Yeah, but I don't think he'd give you much of a discount.
Oh, okay.
Also, there's two Game Passes. There's regular Game Pass with no live, which is $10 a month, and Ultimate Game Pass, which includes the live. And
That's
all
the
the game.
15.
That's the 15. Yeah.
So, yeah. I think it's what you said. I think it was funneling everyone in a direction, and then they immediately came
well, the
out and were like,
backlash
no.
was so bad on it that they
That's
all came out.
doubling the price?
They came out and said, "Oh, never mind. We're going to put the price." I've never seen that before. A company come
Yeah.
back that quick and take their price hike away. So that was the chair, not me.
Kitchen door.
Oh, so that was that. And then also because AT&T said, "Hold my beer," they were pissed that they didn't get to raise their prices, so they did as well. My Uverse service is going to go up at least $9 in the next month. Good thing I got that $40 discount. Let's eat into that discount real quick. And same thing with, I believe DirecTV is going to go up, and all their cable services are going up this, I think, next month is what the announcement said.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm grandfathered in. I got to check the account and see if they're going to bump me if it's like a new
Even under a
enrollee.
promotion, they'll still raise you.
Oh, wow.
That happened to me the first year I was with AT&T.
It's just there's too much competition out there right now. I might have to jump ship to YouTube TV and give that a shot and see if I like that. Because although I like the AT&T TV now, it's $65 including HBO.
Yeah.
The nice part is when you couple it with the AT&T internet service, I don't have a data cap. They have eliminated my data cap on there, which was kind of nice. But I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm constantly in turmoil with this. I don't know what to do.
Bill, you have DirecTV. Are you excited over a price hike?
Are you excited?
No, and I wasn't aware of it, so it's already expensive enough.
What are you paying a month? And not with the Sunday ticket, but what are you paying a month?
All right, so we have the Genie DVR system.
Is that their DVR system called the Genie?
Yeah, it's called the Genie. It basically has the DVR, and then it has the portable ones that sort of connect to it wirelessly. So you have these small boxes on your other television. So I have 4 total TVs that are connected, and I have HBO, and I actually have a grandfathered old plan because we've had the same programming lineup for like 10 years now. With taxes and everything, not counting the Sunday ticket, it's right about $200 a month.
That's crazy.
Way too expensive.
Yeah, I pay $115 for my DirecTV now and my cable internet. Well, my AT&T TV or my AT&T internet. So I'm at $115, and then I pay the $7 for the Direct Discovery Plus, and that's where I'm at.
I got Uverse, so I was at $185 a month. Then I called them bitch. They put me down to $145 a month. I have HBO and Showtime too.
But in theory, that'll go to $155 is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I'm going to go up to $155 probably next month.
Does that
Thank you,
include internet and all
AT&T.
that too?
Huh?
Does that include internet and all that too?
Yeah.
How's
Yeah,
your
because
mesh
that's-
network still working? Good.
Yeah, so far
Yeah.
so good.
What you got, BV?
Oh, well, no, mine is just for DirecTV. So I have Comcast for internet and phone,
Well, you pay $200 just for the TV?
just for the TV.
I thought that included
Yes.
your internet.
No, because I don't have AT&T for internet.
That's the most
I have-
amazing thing I've heard all
I have
day.
Comcast.
So you had 300, aren't you?
Yeah, we're getting screwed. No, it's more. Because we
More
also
than-
still have the phone. So we have an ADT security system it's an older one that's still connected in through the landline. So that needs, which by the way is way too expensive too. So that's got to go too. But yeah. So for phone and internet with Comcast right now, it's about $142 a month.
So you're paying $342 a month for your cable internet?
That is correct.
Oh
Cable internet,
my
phone. But I don't.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's all
Rip
got
that
to
shit
go.
out immediately.
It's all got to go.
Wow. Now I don't feel so bad about my price.
Holy
Like,
shit, dude. Wow. And then you factor in his $6,000 electric bills in the summer months. BV is bleeding money as we
Yeah, I know.
speak. Holy cow.
Well, at least he'll get a stimulus to help pay. Oh, wait.
BV's so pissed.
Turning into a bitter old man, PV.
I'm telling you, man.
Also on the news, of course, we talked about a little bit earlier. CyberPunk put their patch out this week, so it's supposed to run better. Like I said, I'm 6 hours in, haven't had a glitch yet, but I'll let you know how that works in a couple weeks. Now, here's a really
They also said that patch was like killing people's saved game files. Did you see that? Yeah.
good thing I didn't have any saved game files. So this is a really shocker one this week that got announced. WWE Network sold itself to the Peacock streaming service.
I texted you in the week. I needed you to explain this and explain it to the crowd. Like, what does this mean? What is this? What
So
is this?
starting in March, not right now. So in March, there will be no more WWE Network. All the WWE Network programming and
Content
content
will
is
migrate to
going
the Peacock.
So you'll launch your Peacock. You'll be like, oh, there's Friends, there's NBC, there's WWE.
It'll be
Click
like a
WWE.
channel within the Peacock.
Yeah, and then you'll see all your WWE stuff right there.
Won't that? So you're saying they did this because the revenue wasn't where they wanted it to be
Yeah, and they only have, from what I understand,
how does this-
a couple million subscribers.
to the WWE network?
Yeah,
It seemed like a great value. I don't know.
It wasn't nearly the numbers they thought they were going to have.
Wow.
Peacock is less though per month too, isn't it? Isn't it like $5 for?
Yeah, but if you want the pay-per-views and the no commercials with the WWE, you got to pay the 10.
So it's okay. So it's same price.
Same price.
Except
You're
you
actually
get
getting
extra
more
stuff.
for your money.
Yeah, it
actually.
sounds like a great value for the average person.
It's I know why NBC did it because that's more content for them to offer, more reasons for people to sign up for the streaming. You know, that's why NBC owns Peacock.
I don't know how this works. So then, are you if I'm a WWE fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I get the Raw now from the USA Network on the Peacock Network?
No, you couldn't even get the Raw.
But
Yeah.
that's a USA, right? They don't put that on the Peacock.
Not everything goes on the cock, Charles.
That's not what BB told me.
Well, BB was wrong about the cock distribution.
Apparently, I'm not the arbiter of all things cock. So.
Even the WWE Network, the newest Raws, they're like a month or two behind Raw.
Oh wow!
Because of some agreement they have with USA.
But
But NBC owns USA, but
Yeah.
still,
there's some rule somewhere.
and Fox owns SmackDown, so the
It's
SmackDowns
even
are really
muddier.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Raws and SmackDowns, no. The pay-per-views, the original content, and all the old bullshit, that's going to be on there immediately. So
Does
you'll be able to
this?
get that.
So you and BV opted out, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does this intrigue either of you two just to throw in for some extra content at all, or not really? You're still not into it.
If I don't get it this Sunday, I'm never going to get it.
Is that what you're saying?
'cause of
Like
the
you're
Royal
fighting
Rumble.
that itch.
It depends on how bored I am Sunday. When I'm
Oh.
sitting there like, do
$10
I want to see that
bucks,
Royal Rumble or
yeah.
not? The Royal Rumble is always key for me. If I'm into that Royal Rumble, I'll have it until WrestleMania.
BV, where are you at?
It's still Peacock. All right. So you get great. So from a value standpoint, you get more for the money than you would just with the WWE Network. But if there's nothing that you're interested in Peacock, then it's still the same. And I've heard that people have been complaining because the expectation is that Peacock will not give you, like, apparently people aren't happy with their searchable, the way that their search their search technology works, and that's hard to search by. So like right now, if you wanted to watch matches, great matches from like a certain wrestler, you could plug them in the network, I guess, and be able to see a list of certain. And so
It's not
so
aggregating the content properly.
yeah, so the diehards are worried that they're not going to be able to catalog the 17,000 hours or whatever of content that they have and make it where it's user friendly. No, I don't think it's going to really move the needle. The part that I thought was kind of odd too is that they're only doing this in the U.S. So the network will still exist everywhere else around the world.
I don't know. Crazy.
It's big money for McMahon. I heard it's all close to $1 billion he got for that network to put it on the Peacock. So it's a good chunk of change for him. Like I told you, I know you don't want to hear it, but the stock went up a couple bucks as they announced it. I did see the little cha-ching on my there. So somehow WWE still makes money. And then they don't have to run.
How old is Vinnie Mac at this point?
He's in his
75.
75.
Is he going to walk away anytime soon? Do you guys think he's going to die in that position?
He's not going to walk away at all. One day they're going to wheel him out, and that's going to be the end of it. But he won't walk away before that.
Yeah, he'll
have to
die backstage somewhere.
What percent of the owner or whatever is he at this point?
I don't know, because he done a bunch of weird shit for his XFL and sold a lot of stock to finance the XFL. So I don't know what the fuck at this point. He's still got to be over 50%, I would assume. But
he doesn't have to own. He doesn't necessarily have to own over 50% of the company.
Just more than any one other person.
Well,
right?
he has to own more than 50% of the voting stock. That's the thing. You can set up. You can do for bigger companies. You can set up the structure where there's a certain level of stock is what actually counts for ownership and control, and then you can control that stock without having to control all of the common stock that anyone can buy. That Steve can go on to his whatever.
No, my stock is not common.
Whatever site you use to buy stock and go buy it.
TD Ameritrade.
Okay, it says I looked it up though. As of September 2020, he holds about 1/3 of all diluted WWE shares, but the vast majority of voting rights. His Class B shares gives him 10 times the voting power over that of Class A common stock. And then other members of his family, like Linda and Stephanie, hold Class B stock. So they have the stock that actually matters for control. They give it a huge weight to it. They hold that, and then they let the overall market share or the market value of the company sort of spread around these. It affects its market cap. So like when Steve buys his shares on the market, it affects the overall worth of the company, but it doesn't. But he has so little power with his stock in relation to theirs that he wouldn't.
I thought you were important in the WWE.
I'm a big player. You just didn't know. So there you go. Now, did you hear about the GameStop stock?
Somehow they arbitrarily, Redditors somehow shot it up or did something stupid I saw.
So I guess GameStop was circling the toilet, we've all known.
Should be.
And two big hedge funds owned it, most of their stock. And they do. Bill can probably explain. They short sold or short changed some of the stock to make the stock go down. Basically, they were waiting for the company to go out of business. They're gonna, Wall Street it, like the movie Wall Street.
Oh, tell our paper, dude.
Yeah. But
Blue
a
Horseshoe
bunch
loves
small groups of investors all got together on Reddit and are pissed at these hedge funds for doing these kind of things. And they all went in and started buying shitloads of GameStop stock and drove them like $100, $150 a share. And that by doing that, these hedge funds lost a lot of money and then bailed on the GameStop. Wow. And now also rumored that they're going to do it to AMC next.
Wow.
And save AMC. I don't know. Just weird.
How does that work?
I don't know how.
Can anyone explain that? BV, you got anything with that? Do you know how Bud Fox and does that?
I don't know how they did it specifically. There's different ways to do it. Typically, what they'll do is like they'll borrow the shares and they immediately sell them off, right? So they'll have that. So they're actually setting it up to try to dilute the price of the stock. It's usually so that they can go back, and so what happens? So they'll borrow them, they'll sell them off, then they hope they can pick it up later, right? So how they make their money is then later on when that price drops, they pick it up at the lower price, then sort of return the stocks back to the lender, and they keep the difference in it. So they profit on the stock going down, and then they come out of it holding, in a lot of cases, either a bunch of cash or more market share in the company when it's all done. But it's a risky, obviously there's a lot more risk involved, because if that stock doesn't depreciate the way that they expect it to, and the stock actually in this case, like they go on a mission and shoot the price of the stock up. Now they're going to have call when they return it to the lender. They're going to have to give them the market value of the stock. So they're going to owe more than they paid for it initially.
So that's how they're screwing.
Yeah, and they get screwed that way. Yeah,
I get you. Wow.
So,
That's got to be, isn't that like SEC illegal or whatever that is? Whatever.
It can be done legally.
Wow, crazy.
Because the hedge fund they might own a significant amount of stock, but they're probably not controlling. If it was done by people internally within the company,
then you're
that
arbitrarily
would be
inflating.
Yeah,
I get you.
This is just it's an investment technique that hedge funds use all the time.
Well, the little guy's sticking it to the big guys. What's
from
happening
Reddit, yeah,
for
wow.
GameStop of all companies? The one that isn't worth saying.
Exactly.
Is the one they're doing it for. All right, and then finally, HBO Max has put a Harry Potter series in development. Both our wives would be excited. Now, here's the funny thing, though. There's a little backlash on this. Because right now, J.K. Rowling...
Yeah, people hate her with her trans
She's
issues.
lost a lot of shine. So they're pissed that because they've already said she will be involved. So it's just more money, more ways for her to put her influence out there. So
She's
it'd be
worth
interesting.
billions of dollars.
It will be interesting to see if
how
this is
they're so full of
taken
crap. Like all these people that are so angry right now. They're gonna watch the show. Oh, she's bullshit. But let me check out what's going on with it.
No. Does this take place after the movie?
Yeah. I don't agree with her politics, but Fantastic Beasts had it.
No. This got some good CGI magic. They're all full of shit.
Taking that hard line and they're real
so
weak
much
in the end.
outrage. You see they're after the girl from Mandalorian too?
No.
Gina, whatever, the UFC chick. Yeah, they've been trying to cancel culture
Why?
the
What'd
shit
she
out
do?
of her. She's conservative and likes a lot of shit, like Trump type shit on her social media. So they fucking hate her and they want her fired.
Wow.
So apparently you can't have different
God,
opinions.
I was gonna say you can't have a different opinion.
Yeah, no. How dare you?
No,
Yeah,
You need to be
that's,
fired.
that's not the world we live in anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so. And it's nothing like bad. She just likes like random posts and stuff. She doesn't even post that much. Because there was an article I read
You
on
can't be. You can't. We do live in a weird world. I don't want to agree with Dave Chappelle and Joe Rogan all the time. We do live in a weird world right there where it's like, dude, you can. Like I said, I love Mike Rowe. I'm not a conservative by any stretch
Yeah.
of the imagination, but
You like Adam Carolla?
yeah, I love Adam
He's a
Carolla.
big
Yeah,
conservative
and it's
too,
like,
so-
dude, what do you want me to do? I mean, we don't have to agree on everything. I barely like BV, but he's on the show every week. You know what I mean? Like, he's an asshole.
And that barely is more than on the other side.
His conservative stance on Yugoslavian choke.
It's ridiculous.
So fucked up.
I can't believe I associate with
But
him.
they've been trying to get her for months. They've been after her for months.
Wow.
And mostly on Twitter and stuff like that.
So let me get this straight. You won't buy food from a tasty restaurant like Chick-fil-A because of their political stance, but you're still talking to me and having me on your podcast, even though you're apparently appalled by this alleged Yugoslavian choke porn thing.
Dude, you're out of control with that choke porn.
And
I don't like Chick-fil-A.
way to be
at all.
selective with
I
your morals.
really don't like Chick-fil-A.
Is it the morals or you just don't care for the food?
Huh? No, they got issues. Like they're weird. They're a weird company. I know that everyone wants to act like they're not. Chick-fil-A's got issues, all right? Like, if you got that many issues, that's much like I don't like Jimmy John's. I don't like Jimmy John's because he's a weirdo too.
I don't like Jimmy John's because they put too much mayonnaise on their sandwiches.
I don't like Jimmy John's because their subs suck.
Well, that's okay. We'll
But-
agree. You know.
They are a little overpriced.
And
too.
I to this day, I won't fill my car up at a BP, and BV works at a BP. I won't do it because of what they did in the
I don't
Gulf.
work at a BP.
I'm sorry. He's a gas
Pumping
station
gas.
attendant.
Yeah, there you go.
Lawyer by night, gas station by
Yeah,
day.
dude, he's versatile. What do you want me to tell
That's
you?
why he's never home.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I mean,
there's certain.
I just never
things-
shop it. I never get gas
I've
at BP
always
because it
been
always
of the
costs more.
opinion that you can vote with your money. And if you don't want to put your money into that's fine. Well, I'm not going to be outside picketing. You don't want to see me outside
Yeah.
a BP with a sandwich sign.
Well,
I'll be
No,
honest. BP drops gas to $1.98. My ass gonna be at a
I
BP.
will.
And that's
I will say
okay.
this though. So the BP stations that you're not going to are not owned or controlled, operated by BP at all. So
They still got
you're
to pay
actually-
a franchising fee, so it's okay. I'm not
No,
going to
no. In most cases, they're not paying a franchising fee. We don't have any franchises in Michigan.
They're paying.
These are independent dealers, and the only relationship that they have with BP
Is there
is that a
royalties of the
middleman
name?
buys BP's fuel, sells it to them on a separate agreement, and they get to carry the license and have the BP markings.
So that's
they
what I'm
have
saying.
no contractual relationship with BP whatsoever. None. The
So
dealer
you're telling me they
is a
get
full degree separated.
But there's a dealer, so there's a middleman, is what BB's trying to tell me. So the middleman pays BP, and they pay the middleman. So BB's like,
there are people companies called jobbers.
Well,
they will
welcome to lawyers,
they will go to the gas
right?
terminal. They'll buy the fuel from
Step
BP
away from a politician.
at a wholesale price.
You know what I mean?
Then they will sell it to the people that run the station.
They're not a BP. Yeah, they are. It's okay. We'll agree to disagree. BB is my point. That was all my point.
Dealers have no relationship with BP whatsoever. They have a relationship with the people that supply the fuel to them.
Again. Twice removed, still guilty.
I don't care whether you buy BP or not. It doesn't make me any difference.
Why don't you buy from BP anyways?
What's that?
What's the big deal about BP?
Well, they destroyed the Gulf of Mexico, and we're just supposed to be okay with it. Don't you remember?
I don't like seafood. I tell you what, I've been to New Orleans. All their food sucks anyway.
So
the oil might have made it taste better.
Do you go to Exxon or Mobil?
No, I do not. I don't go to either of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So stay away from them.
I go to whatever 7-Eleven is. I don't know what 7-Eleven is.
A lot of them be mobile. Some of them are sit-goes and stuff like that.
Most places, like if 7-Eleven doesn't have a major gas brand with the store, then it's just you're buying unbranded generic gas that doesn't have like any proprietary additives to it.
My point was during this before we got into BV's politics, I just was saying I vote with my money, but we don't have to agree on everything. It's a weird time that we live in that like all of a sudden BV doesn't get to be on next week because I don't, you know what I mean? Like that's a harsh jump is what I'm trying to say.
I don't get to be on.
Well, you know what I mean. Like
don't worry, Bill. We don't listen to Twitter.
Begging people to come on here in the first place, but I'm just saying.
Jeez. First of all, I think you're doing me a favor right now, BV. Like,
no, I never said that, but I'm not the one saying that I got permission to come on.
No, but I'm saying
the example was if people were.
That's
online.
what I'm trying to say.
I get your point.
Okay.
I'm just.
He's being a lawyer right now. Is what it is. One step away from a politician, like you said.
No, the
we'll
thing
take
is,
what we can get.
And I'll step further with that though is that, and then I think this has turned into a rant now. So the thing is that not only are we at that point, it used to be that there was value in that. People can have very close friendships and have great, lifelong relationships, have completely different political views, but there's something about sort of the very kind of core tenets of freedom, of a democratic society. You can disagree. You can have open debate and discussion about issues. Sometimes you'll actually make points that make people go, well, okay, maybe, and you can maybe you either agree to disagree, or sometimes people move further to one side or the other because of it.
No, now
you've
they
gotten
cancel
to a point
you.
now where you're either
now you
this,
gotta go. Yeah.
well, you're either one thing or you're the other. And the worst part to me is that most of the people that are taking that stance don't even know what their stance actually is.
Yeah, that's true too.
It's basically, we're basically like, this is like the first season of frickin' American Idol, except people are militant about whether it's Justin Guarini or frickin' Kelly Clarkson you vote for.
That's how I've lived life my whole life.
Everything goes back to the first season of American Idol.
Little Sweet's pretty good. Little Sweet.
I like to live in what was the season with Clay Aiken? That's the season I always compare life to.
I
don't know. That was a story of redemption when he sent him away and he came back.
Neither one of them do anything now.
Yeah.
I think that was the second one.
Anyway. That's pretty cool. I didn't hear about her getting canceled, though. Back to the
yeah, they've been after her. And one of the posters, they have removed her and put Ahsoka in her place.
Oh.
So we don't know if that's...
There's grumblings, huh?
If that's Disney caving or not, but...
they put who in her place?
Ahsoka, the Jedi lady with the two lightsabers.
Tentacles. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's not like she's the world's greatest actor, and probably wouldn't miss anything.
No, but she was an entertaining part of the show.
Yeah, I don't think it's right. Let her do what she wants to do.
It's the age we live, dude. It's crazy.
Blackballing people over.
It's not like she's molesting kids or she did a Ponzi scheme and cheated a bunch of senior citizens out of their money.
I think BB thinks she's hot. You think she's hot, BB?
I knew it. I do.
He's coming awfully to her defense right now. It's not like,
come to her
when a nipple popped out.
I defense in the situation, irrespective of her level of attractiveness.
But it helps.
No, that's a completely different subject.
So give me a
And I would
scale of
find
1
her
to 10 on
equally
how
as
attractive she is
I
to
would
you.
I would find her equally as attractive if she was a diehard I don't know, Bernie Sanders supporter, who I am not a supporter of.
What do you got 1 to 10 on her, BV? What's her name?
Gina Carano.
What do you got, BV?
I need to see something.
I would give her. I mean, if we're talking about Hollywood kind of thing, I'd give her like a 6.5.
Well, I'm talking about on the BV scale. What is she?
I'd give her maybe a 8. I like the thickness.
Oh,
She's,
you're a sexist
she's got-
pig. Can't believe you put a number on a woman. You
You cocksucker. Oh my god!
Just for the record, though, if Gina Carano wants to come on the podcast,
You get judged by BV like a piece of meat.
we will support her. Come on down. I don't care what your political views are. You can be on the podcast.
You were just deciding who to kill between, and you were always
They were all American treasures.
American actor. So I'm sexist. You're racist.
That is true. You put both the black guys in a coma and killed the other
I'm
one.
telling you, the one guy can beat up comas.
All right, so that's going to do us for this week. You can, of course, catch us on Apple iTunes or Google Play or anywhere, Spotify as well. You can see videos of Charles eating bad popcorn because it's terrible. Of course, you can catch us at fatguyslittlepodcast.com. And then until next week when we get to go over all our Super Bowl bets.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll do some.
You going to the MGM?
What if we did like 50? But maybe I'll do 50 on like who scores first. And then 50 on like
It's 100,
toss.
and then whatever extra you want to do, you do it with another 100.
Well, why you can't? There's no
So
set
all
rules.
bets are in denomination.
I mean, all three of us just gonna
Hundreds.
bet on the Chiefs.
No,
What's the point?
okay, so then put some other cheddar on something. Live large, Steve.
Yes, you're going to need to bring Benjamins plural.
God damn it!
You're a part owner of VR Metro
I know.
You
You're
own
a
at least-
shareholder in companies like Disney,
and
WWE,
Hormel.
Hormel, Chili.
Hormel. You know, Hormel makes me more money than Pfizer. The company's trying to save
People need
everybody.
chili more than dick pills.
Pfizer's got the vaccine to save us all, and nobody cares. They want chili. All right. till
Wait,
then-
hold on. Happy birthday, Adam.
Adam Casca, 43 years old.
Happy
Eddie
birthday.
Smoochie.
Happy birthday, Daddy Smoochies.
We'll see you next week.
And next week. All right. See ya.